how to make housing more affordable. Kurt Darling has the results from the Carmel Housing Task Force.
Mayor Sue Finkham commissioned the study, and the report from it shows there's a lack of options for people wanting to buy homes that appeal to first-time home buyers and elderly people looking to downsize. Things like a lack of supply, economic development, and an increase in shifting demand, density, and growth were the focus of the report. It also showed that Carmel simply has a lack of affordable homes. Kurt Darling, 93 WYBC Mobile News.
And two of the best hotels in the U.S. are right here in the Circle City. Michelin has awarded the Bottle Works and Iron Works hotels in downtown Indy with a Michelin One Key, which means it's a very special stay. Both hotels are delighted by the honor. WIBC News Time 3:04, traffic and weather next.
So what's in the bag today? Yesterday's leftovers? Another lunch meat sandwich? Well, go ahead and pull up a rock and settle in for a half hour of I wish I was eating something else. Or you could be eating something else, or someplace else. If you're brown bagging it at the corner of 30th and Shadeland area, drop over to His Place Eatery for 30 minutes of why didn't I know about this place sooner? Nothing fancy, not a lot of frills. They save that for the quality of the meal. Like ribs that fall off the bone, southern fried chicken, sides that will cause your taste buds to thank you into tomorrow. Put that in your brown bag and eat it. Better yet, bank the bag. Go to His Place Eatery at the corner of 30th and Shadeland, or the newest location off 86th and Ditch Road. Your dirty boots and work clothes are welcome here. His Place, your place for lunch. Go to hisplaceeatery.com to learn more.
With traffic on the 5s at 3:05, good afternoon, Alan Green.
Hi, Donnie. Hey, 465 northbound slows a bit now between 56 Shadeland and 71st. Westbound 465 from Michigan to the Dogleg hits the brakes. 65 southbound slows 21st to Meridian. 69 southbound building a bit from 96 into 465. This report brought to you by Train Heating and Cooling Systems. Train Heating and Cooling Systems are engineered to keep up with you. They run together. Visit traininfo.com to find your local independent Train dealer. It's hard to stop a train. I'm Alan Green. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And now the forecast brought to you by the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Partly to mostly cloudy skies expected for the day today. Some rain showers will be possible, especially south of Indianapolis with highs near 82. Cloudy and mild tonight, lows near 66. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Tara Hastings for 93 WIBC.
The Hammer and Nigel Show up next. I'm Donnie Burgess on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
So let's rock it.
My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer right over there. Here's the headline from mirrorindy.org. Hogsett says he won't release proof of 2017 sexual harassment investigation. He had a press conference yesterday, talked about the scandal within his office. His chief of staff accused of harassment of multiple underlings under him. And during the press conference, he signed that proposal passed by the City County Council in September. I think it was on September 9th, Hammer. They're forming an investigative committee to figure out exactly what happened, what Hogsett knew, when he knew it. But when asked if he was going to release proof of, we did this 2017 harassment investigation against Thomas Carl Cook, his answer was what?
Well, there was an investigation, but I can't show you anything. So there's a lot to break down here.
Yeah.
There are multiple people involved in what's going on, but I don't really have faith in any of them. So you've got the appointed independent group that is looking into everything Joe Hogsett related, the entire sexual harassment scandal. This is the Wink Wink Independent Group. And then you've also got a select fact-finding committee from the City County Council. And let me explain why I've got little faith in both of these groups looking into Boss Hogsett. So if you go back a couple weeks, Joe Hogsett said that there was an investigation, and it was an independent group that did that investigation. This was a couple weeks ago. Take a listen.
Ultimately, we did engage a private law firm to conduct the investigation.
Can you say what the law firm was?
It was Taft.
Okay, remember that. Taft. Specifically, it was Mick Terrell of the Taft law firm who he claims did a private investigation of Thomas Carl Cook back when the allegations first came forth. That was 2017. If you play a little game called Follow the Money, Nige.
Oh, I love this game.
Mick Terrell and the Taft law firm, huge donors of Joe Hogsett. As a matter of fact, last year alone, Taft gave $100,000 to Joe Hogsett. So what do you think they're going to say when he comes to them and says, hey, I got a little thing. They're really busting my balls on this. Why don't you do a wink, wink investigation and help a brother out here? They're totally on the take. In 2019, Taft partner Marcy Reddick was appointed by Boss Hogsett to the Greater Indianapolis Progress Committee. So he's got a history of working with Taft, taking their money, in return hooking up their buddies, and he basically called in a favor for that investigation.
Strange. That is very shady behavior.
One of the accusers who has put her name on this is Lauren Roberts. She's on a heater on social media, her Twitter account. Her issues with Boss Hogsett go back a number of years. She was the one that told the Indy Star and Mirror Indy it was Thomas Carl Cook that was doing these things. It was Joe Hogsett that knew, that did not do anything about it. Hogsett was the one that let Thomas Carl Cook have this victory lap when he left and then brought him back. So let's go back to August 28th here, okay? August 28th, this is Joe Hogsett.
Why wasn't Lauren Roberts contacted about the investigation into her allegations in 2017?
She was.
She said she was not contacted about an investigation.
I respectfully disagree.
So Lauren Roberts, one of the accusers, is saying she has never been contacted by Joe Hogsett. When asked about it on the 28th of August, you just heard Joe, I disagree. This is what she put on Twitter yesterday, Nige. Quote, I was never interviewed. I was never contacted to be interviewed. What did you actually know about my case before you sanctioned Thomas in 2017? Tagging Indy Mayor Joe. Since you're citing confidentiality as a reason for not releasing records related to this investigation, you say you directed Taft to do after I first emailed you in May of 17. I'm requesting a meeting with you and that investigator. You've got my email address. I look forward to hearing from you, and I'll set this meeting up.
And really, here is the problem for Hogsett, other than I think he's a liar, and I think this is just my opinion. I think he knew exactly what was going on when it happened. I don't think there was an investigation because we have women here that are putting their names on this and don't want anything for it.
Right.
They just want to expose and say, hey, here is the culture. And then look at the ensuing articles that Mirror Indy writes. Look at the articles that James Briggs and the Indy Star writes, talking about multiple staffers, current and former, talking about what such a culture of a toxic workplace that the environment was there, and that harassment was prevalent throughout the administration. Again, they're not asking for anything here. They just want acknowledgement.
They're not pressing charges. They just want accountability. And if you missed old Boss Hogsett's presser yesterday, he signed this form that said there will be better sexual harassment training in the office, but when peppered with questions, just kept saying, I can't answer that. It's an ongoing investigation. At one point, Joe Hogsett said that Thomas Cook and Lauren Roberts were in a romantic relationship, which warranted this tweet from Lauren Roberts yesterday. Quote, to be very bleeping clear, I do not characterize sexual abuse and harassment I endured from Thomas Cook as a romantic relationship. So Joe goes up there, doesn't answer anything, lies out his ass, and then he falls back on, well, we did an investigation with Thomas Cook. We had an independent group. The independent group donated $100,000 to Joe Hogsett last year, and he's got a history of promoting their staff members to high-ranking positions.
And then the question remains why he was still Cook, I'm talking about. Why was he kept in the inner circle? Why was he kept in the administration even after Hogsett became, as he puts it, aware of the subordinates who were subjected to those advancements? Why was he brought back in 2023 as a quote-unquote volunteer to help him campaign?
Right.
Knowing, at least, the timeline here is crazy. Hogsett says one thing. I know I have quotes of Hogsett. Russ McQuaid asked him why he brought him back in 2013. And Hogsett like, I didn't know about those previous complaints.
Right. And you
It's
talk about the
all
timeline.
over the place, man.
The Taft law firm, they claim in 2017 they did the investigation. Nothing to see here. Magically, a couple years later, one of their partners was appointed to this high-profile position that Joe Hogsett appointed him
Imagine
for.
that.
So that was the wink-wink independent investigation. Let's talk about what the city-county council is doing right now. So they put together this fact-finding commission, mainly Democrats, but there are a few Republicans on there. I know Brian Mowry is one of the folks on this council. He's the minority leader for the Republicans. But 4 of the 5 Democrats in this investigative committee have received donation money from Thomas Cook and the recently fired Matt Pleasant, and some of them have received money from Joe Hogsett himself. So you're expecting the city-county council members to be completely transparent, to be completely on the up and up when they've received money for their campaigns from the people they're supposed to be investigating.
And do they understand the optics of that? Do they even come close to being able to comprehend what that looks like to Joe Six-Pack out in Indianapolis that voted for them, that voted for Hogsett?
There was one
awful.
member that didn't even want to investigate Joe Hogsett for all of this nonsense. Yeah. So we like to have fun on Fridays, man, but we have to let you know what's going on. These investigations into Joe are bought and paid for, and they're crooked as hell. Hit us up on social media at Hammer and Nigel. Alan Green's filling in for Matt Bear.
Hey guys, 65 southbound at 231, a crash reported. 465 northbound slows up from Shaylin to 71st. 465 westbound, a delay from Michigan to the Dogleg. 65 southbound building a bit between 21st and Meridian. This report brought to you by B Window, now employee owned. B Window is celebrating this month with employee pricing for everyone. Get 60% off plus 18 months, no interest or payments. Trust your home to B. Visit B.com for details. That's bwindow.com for details. I'm Alan Green. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
All right, 83 right now at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. I look right on the YouTube chat, right out of the gate to start the show. That no good rotten Vic Ferrari is ripping me because I missed the bet last night on Thursday Night Football.
No, you take the over?
Quote, I need to have a talk with Hammer about his Thursday Night Football picks. Plural picks. I won a week ago. There's only been 2. Man, and we should have won last night. The over-under was 48.5. We had 41 points on the board with 9 minutes left to go in the third quarter.
Wow.
And then Tua got hurt.
Yeah.
The Dolphins quarterback, and it was bad. Like another bad concussion.
It's like multiple. He's had like 3 now, 3 or 4. That's crazy.
Yeah, like they're having serious discussions with that dude about his career right now. But after that, there wasn't a single point because the backup quarterback from the Dolphins, I think Allison is better than, and then the Bills just mailed it in because why would they have to score points at that point? That was a bad beat, man. That was a total bad beat. That was the right play. I will die on the hill saying that was the right bet. Coming up next, if you missed our announcement yesterday, we are taking this little show on the road. We'll reset that. And coming up here in just a few minutes, Tommy Pigott from the RNC will get his thoughts on what happened at that debate this past Tuesday. Casey Daniels is on Celebrity Beer Bong later on. We're having a good time. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Don't stress about plumbing repairs. Call LD Smith for honest advice and a free second opinion on any estimate.
LD Smith Plumbing.
A dirty, stinking honest.
A lot of cable news sources are reporting home prices are expected to decline in 2025, even after the election. Maximize your home sales price now before the downturn with the agent proving to sell for top dollar. That's Mark Deedle. Tom and Kim from Sharpeville know this. They wanted to move to Florida, looking to sell their house. Wanted to sell quick with an agent who would max their sales price. Mark sold their home on the first day at full price.
Mark Deedle is the only real estate expert that we trust and recommend here on the Hammer and Nigel show. And what separates Mark Deedle from the competition is the guarantee. Mark Deedle guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. You pick the move date, no long-term contracts. You can cancel at any time. 317-755-4232. That's 755-4232. Or go to markdeedle.com. That's Mark, D-I-E-T-E-L, markdeedle.com. Tell him Hammer and Nigel sent you.
After college, Mike Braun could have gone anywhere. He chose to move back to his hometown of Jasper, Indiana. There, he started a small business, kept his head down, worked hard, and turned his small business into a national company, employing thousands of Hoosiers. He'll use that same determination for us. Lead the charge on lowering the price of gas, groceries, energy. Take on the big healthcare companies to increase healthcare access and lower costs. And Mike will improve education across our state by increasing school choice. Mike will make our streets safer, back the blue, and stop illegal immigration if the federal government won't. Because Braun believes every Hoosier should be safe and secure in their community. As governor, Braun will continue working for Hoosiers. Because when you're Mike, working hard is just what you do. Mike Braun, governor. Paid for by Mike Braun for Indiana.
Nobody cares for you like family. Family Heating and Air.
Hi, this is Malia with Family Heating and Air, and as a mom myself, I know it's really important to keep the kiddos healthy. Air quality, humidity, those are super big issues on my concern list. If you share any of these concerns, give Family a call, 317-577-8077.
Family Heating and Air is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Seems like there's more identity theft in the news every day.
Another major healthcare breach was reported today, resulting in the exposure of
1 in 4 consumers have been a victim of identity.
That's because there are endless places that could accidentally expose you to identity theft, in a breach, or simply by mistake. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Brooks and Dunn, the best-selling duo of all time live.
Something country.
Neon Moon Tour 2025.
Urban neon.
With David Lee Murphy.
A little dust on the bottom of that red dirt road.
April 3rd, Gainbridge Fieldhouse. On sale now at Ticketmaster. Brooks and Dunn Live.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
Shh. The silence you just heard? You could have used that space to reach your customers. Get your message in front of your customers. Text business to 71007 now. Get results with Radio 1.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by Miss M's Home and Garden, Johnson County's fall nursery headquarters.
Well, we're coming.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
I'm fired up. Hammer just announced it. Did you guys announce it yesterday?
Oh, yeah.
The Hammer and Nigel Road Show back out on the road September 20th.
Next Friday.
The suburban indie home and outdoor living show up at Grand Park. $7 if you buy early.
$10 at the door, and they've got all different types of cool stuff going on. It's not just the home and outdoor stuff. They've got like this game show theme where you can play these different game shows and win prizes. There's a kids' day coming up on Sunday, but you and I are going to be out there for Beer Sample Friday next week.
Well, they better have some sort of beer garden.
Oh, I think that's going to be taken care of. I can promise you that.
Okay.
So
just saying.
Get your tickets right now. suburbanindieshows.com/fall. Save $3 if you buy your tickets right now. It's just $7. Kids 12 and under are free. $10 at the gate. You don't have to pay to park at this Grant Park event. And man, we're going to have a good time next week. Westfield, show up. Hemorrhoids, Nigerians, show up in mass and let's go.
Something I'm doing tomorrow has nothing to do with what we're talking about. It hit me. I'm doing one of those things with my wife and some neighbors where we pay a bunch of money to tour $1 million homes that we'd never be able to afford in 3 lifetimes. We're doing that again. It's called the Homerama.
Homerama.
I don't even know how you say it. The promontory of Zionsville. Yes. I don't know what it entails. I don't know where it's located, somewhere in Zionsville, but it's like, I just go for the beer.
How many houses are you seeing?
Dude, I don't know. It's a bigger acreage than some of these other houses that we've done Holiday Farms and
sure.
Chatham, like we've done we've done it every year since 2020. My wife and the gals love it.
I've got a challenge for you if you choose to accept it.
What's that?
You got to take a dump in it. You've got to defile the bathroom in there.
I got to go number 2. They usually...
You got to leave your calling card in there.
You know, in these fancy neighborhoods, when they set something like this up, they have the fancy outdoor portalets. The ones with like an engine on it. That
Not good enough.
I know. I've got to go in a house.
Yes. You're Nigel from the Hammer and Nigel show.
Yeah, that's enough reason for them not to let me in.
If you don't defile one of those bathrooms, I don't want you back here on Monday. I'm just telling you right now. You got to bring a little Liston to that joint.
Well, one year, me and my buddy Scotty and his beautiful wife went, and our wives, and like we didn't know, like we weren't supposed to open the refrigerators and look and stuff. And in one of the homes, there was a bunch of beer in there, and we loaded up. Like we put them, we put one in the pocket and then one to walk around with. And
you were like the Clemson kids when Donald Trump had that fast food buffet.
Yeah,
Trevor Lawrence was putting Big Macs in his coat pocket.
It started loading up. So yes, tomorrow I'll be. My wife and I have paid. Let's see how much tickets are to this thing. Yeah, they're not that bad. I guess $30 is what
you got to get your money's worth, and you got to go number 2 in their fanciest bathroom.
Okay, all right. Goal accepted. Goal accepted.
Did you watch this yesterday? I know you had a bunch of stuff going on, but some dude walked in space. Not really an astronaut, but just some dude.
A civilian, $1 billion tech CEO, right? Is that what that was?
Yeah. So they were part of the Polaris Dawn mission, and they suited up, specially designed SpaceX gear, and they did a spacewalk outside of the capsule. Here's the audio of when rich guy Jared Isaacman exited to the cheers of the crew on the ground.
The hatch is open on Dragon. First view from a helmet cam.
This is Jared now egressing through the forward hatch of Dragon Resilience. These are the first views of the first ever commercial spacewalk.
Back at home, we all have a lot of work to do, but from here, Earth sure looks like a perfect world. Syntax EV1, congrats for the huge team effort that it took to get us to this point. We know it's just the start.
I'm watching it right now. It's pretty cool. I mean, I'd be crapping my pants. It literally, he gets out of the capsule, he opens the hatch, and he's out there just kind of, doing what spacewalkers do, I guess.
Would you feel more comfortable getting in that thing and doing a spacewalk, or getting in one of those miniature submarines and going to see stuff in the ocean?
I'd definitely do this before I'd ever do a submarine. Are you kidding me? Even though I would not like to do this either. But if I had been given the choice, this is pretty cool. I mean, it's pretty cool, I'll admit. Now, what I don't understand is why they couldn't go get the NASA astronauts that are stuck in the space station. that aren't coming home until February.
That's a great point.
Couldn't they motor it over there and pick a couple of those people up too?
I never even thought about that. You got two real astronauts who were over here working, doing stuff. This guy's like a contest winner, a rich guy that happened to be caller number 9. He gets out there to do a spacewalk. They get to come back home.
Yeah,
Why couldn't they have swung over to the space station and at least picked him up?
Hey, by the way, I just got a text from Denny Smith. Remember the last time, about a year ago, you got a text from Denny Smith?
Correct.
Do you remember the gist, the essence of what that text from Denny Smith?
Can I do it in my Denny Smith voice?
Yes.
Hi, Denny Smith here. Tell Nigel it's his dad's birthday. Hi. He wanted me to remind you it was your dad's birthday.
I just got a text from Denny Smith. Hi, Denny Smith here. Don't forget it's your dad's birthday. Hi. Happy 69th to my dad, Jeff. Today, September 13th. I love you, Dad. I love you.
When you told me Denny Smith had texted you, I thought for sure he was going to weigh in the toilet situation.
At the Homerama?
At the Homerama. No. I was waiting for it. It's the Hammer and Nigel show.
According to a 2023 Gallup poll, 71% of non-retired adults are worried about retirement saving. At Howard Bailey Financial, we don't believe retiring with confidence should be guesswork. In fact, our mission is to help you gain clarity and purpose and elevate meaning in your life through personal and practical financial strategies. That's why we provide our Retire with Purpose toolkit at no cost. In it, you'll find valuable information on minimizing taxes, maximizing Social Security, and building a retirement income you won't outlive. To receive your complimentary toolkit, text CLARITY to 866-482-9559. Take a step toward a more confident retirement with Howard Bailey Financial and text CLARITY to 866-482-9559.
This endorsement was not provided by a client of Howard Bailey. This individual was compensated for this endorsement. For more information, visit howardbailey.com/TS1.
Here's a real-life story that affects 50% of all of us out there. It's called divorce. If you've gotten divorced and now you're struggling to pay your bills and your credit card debts are completely out of control, you need to call this special debt relief hotline right now. We help people with all kinds of money problems caused by different life challenges, a divorce, a job loss, even heavy medical bills. All these life events can sometimes financially stress you out and cause you to get out of control. We help people get their lives back by showing them ways to consolidate and reduce their debt, in some cases for a fraction of what they owe. If your credit card balances are more than $10,000, call us and learn how to reduce your credit card bills and monthly payments now. Here's our number.
Paid for by Debt.com. Call now at 800-810-1820. 800-810-1820. 800-810-1820. That's 800-810-1820.
Hey, this is Spencer Thompson at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus. Now through Monday, it's our Made in the USA Labor Day sale. Lazy Boy recliners start at $3.99. Queen mattresses start at $3.99. And sofas start at $4.99. Interest-free financing available, free delivery, and cash discounts on select items. Plus, low price guarantee on Tempur-Pedic and Stearns & Foster mattresses. Sale ends Monday only at Thompson Furniture Mattress in Columbus.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
You have to keep that stuff out of the fridge. Partly cloudy and 82. I'm Donnie Burgess. Here's what's trending at 332. Nearly 10 people killed and over 50 put in the hospital due to a listeria outbreak. Now the plant responsible is closing.
A Virginia Boar's Head plant connected to the ongoing listeria outbreak is closing permanently after an investigation found that the cause of the contamination existed at the Jarrett facility and was used only for liverwurst, which the company will permanently discontinue producing. The deadly outbreak was first reported in mid-July by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention and was followed by a recall of over 207,000 pounds of liverwurst. Hillary Barsky, Fox News.
So you've probably heard former President Trump say Haitian migrants in Springfield, Ohio are eating dogs and cats. City officials say that's not true, but bomb threats made to city buildings over the whole issue have caused a second day of closures. President Biden addressed Trump's comments during an event at the White House.
Simply wrong. There's no place in America. This has to stop
what he's doing. That's a stop.
Back in the Circle City, reps from the Indiana Convention Center say they're focused on improving safety measures.
That was the message from the executive director, Andy Mallon, who spoke at a committee meeting in front of the City County Council Thursday. Mallon talked about Wednesday's murder that happened on the second floor of the building.
We had armed security there. The best of the best were there. They were on the scene. They were on the same floor.
Mallon said about 6 months ago, the convention center invested in more police, but none of them were around when Brian Fulton killed Al Gosnell. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Speak No Evil is off to a scary good start at the box office. The film, starring James McAvoy, made just over $1 million from Thursday previews, and it's expected to make between 10 and 13 million in its first weekend. Tim Burton's Beetlejuice is expected to take first place for the second straight week with $45 million. WIBC News Time, 3:34. Traffic and weather coming up in 1 minute.
Cindy Carrasco has spent a career holding the powerful accountable. As Indiana's Inspector General and Director of the State Ethics Commission, Cindy fought waste, fraud, and abuse wherever she found it. Cindy also combated wrongdoing in state government, which meant standing up and doing the right thing even if it wasn't popular. Now, as our state senator, Cindy Carrasco continues to fight on behalf of all Hoosiers by improving the quality of our children's education, providing tax relief for everyone, and working to make our communities safe by getting law enforcement the resources they need to fight crime, violence, and keep fentanyl away from our families. It's why Cindy has been endorsed by the Indiana Fraternal Order of Police, State Police Alliance, and the Professional Firefighters of Indiana. Because they know that Cindy has their back, and we know she has ours. Vote for more government transparency, better schools, lower taxes, and safer streets. Vote Cindy Carrasco for State Senate.
Paid for by Cindy for Senate.
With a look at traffic, here's Alan Green.
Thank you, Donnie. 70 eastbound slows up now between West and Meridian. 465 northbound breaks from Pendleton Pike up to 75th. Westbound 465 from Ditch over to the Dog Leg backs up a bit. 465 eastbound slows from 70 to White River. This report brought to you by B Window. Now employee-owned, B Window is celebrating this month with employee pricing for everyone. Get 60% off plus 18 months no interest or payments. Trust your home to B. Visit bwindow.com for details. I'm Alan Green. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And now the forecast, brought to you by the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Partly to mostly cloudy skies expected for the day today. Some rain showers will be possible, especially south of Indianapolis, with highs near 82. Cloudy and mild tonight, lows near 66. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Tara Hastings for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Donnie Burgess, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
My name is Nigel. Hammer's over there, a special guest on the hotline.
He is the Strategic Communications Director for the RNC. Find him on social media at Tommy Pigott. See some of his work at RNC Research. Tommy, before we get into a lot of different topics here, we were talking during the commercial break. At any point in your life, did people give you the nickname T-Pig? Like Alex Rodriguez as A-Rod, you know, like it's kind of that style of nickname. You take the first letter, an abbreviation of the last. Did you ever go by T-Pig?
I've never heard that one specifically, but I got to tell you, with a name like Pigott, you get every single sort of nickname involving pig that you could possibly think of.
Okay, fair enough.
The creativity of some of these things, it's kind of off the charts, actually. So, you know, it's got to give people credit on that.
All right. What did you think of the debate this past Tuesday? Reviews are all over the place. You know, depending on your political leanings, you probably think your candidate won. From your perspective over at the GOP, what did you think? What are some of the conversations like among your colleagues?
Well, I think President Trump was the clear winner, and I think as time goes on, more and more people are coming to that opinion, especially if they look at what was actually discussed in the debate. I mean, you had President Trump with a clear vision outlining how he's going to restore American prosperity, security, our standing in the world. And then Kamala Harris came in with two primary goals. The first one was to separate herself from Joe Biden in terms of policy, which was always a fool's errand because her policies are Joe Biden's policies. They have the exact same failed record. And she was asked repeatedly on the economy, on foreign policy, on the border, what she would do differently, and she had no answer for any of that. She dodged on if Americans are better off economically. And so that was her first goal. She failed at that. And then her second goal was to try to explain why, for all of her empty promises that she's making, for example, that she'll bring down costs, why she's not doing it currently, why she hasn't done it the last 3.5 years. And again, she had no answer there. So she failed on her two specific goals that she needed to accomplish in spectacular fashion, while President Trump had that vision of restoring American prosperity.
And Tommy, when you see some of these left-leaning media outlets talk about why they think Harris won, their answers are usually, well, she was able to rattle Donald Trump. She was able to get him to go off topic and talk about crowd sizes and things like that. It's never about her delivering a message or her having a strong answer to a question, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And if that's going off topic, why did she bring it up? I mean, they never seem to say that she went off topic by bringing it up. I don't understand that argument from the left at all. It's almost an implicit argument against their own candidate. And President Trump did an amazing job responding to a lot of the falsehoods that were out there. I mean, if you look at the different crowd sizes, for example, we see the momentum President Trump has in terms of the crowd size. You see Kamala Harris needing to bring in celebrities, things like that. That just goes kind of to the whole fake aspect of her campaign. The entire thing is based off of smoke and mirrors. There's no actual substance there in terms of any sort of policy, any sort of real support. And President Trump not only had to fight Kamala Harris in terms of the debate, he had to fight the moderators. I mean, the bias of the moderators was absurd. And their quote-unquote fact checks, which I even hesitate to use that word, weren't based in fact. They were saying things that were demonstrably not true, specifically when it came to crime, for example. Crime rates are up if you look at the data. And meanwhile, they let Kamala Harris lie repeatedly throughout the debate. So President Trump was a fighter. He showed he was a fighter. And I think as people look at the debate, they see the fact the moderators were trying to put their thumb on the scale. And again, they see that Kamala Harris failed in what she was trying to do.
And it's almost surprising to me. Like you said, the moderators fact-checked Donald Trump, nothing towards Kamala Harris. But the role of the moderator, and you know this, Tommy, and especially working for the RNC, who has been involved in many debates, I don't believe it's the moderator's role to sit there and fact-check the people that they are asking questions of. It is the person's opponent. It's Donald Trump that should be fact-checking Kamala Harris and vice versa if they think that they are saying something that is not accurate. I have never seen, I don't understand the moderator's role. That is not part of the job as a moderator, is it?
It's not. It's not the job of the moderator, especially when they're just flat out wrong.
Yes.
Especially when they're not telling the truth. I mean, it's not the job to begin with, but then you add the extra damaging factor that they're not saying things that are true, especially, again, when it comes to crime. I mean, new data coming out saying that crime rates are up, and they tried to insist that crime rates aren't up. Or when it came to abortion and the extremism of a lot of these Democrats, trying to fact-check that, even though Ralph Northam is on tape. I mean, Tim Walz has signed legislation. I mean, it's mind-boggling, the bias that they showed, and the American people see it. They see it really clearly. And then some of Kamala Harris's lies. She lied about President Trump signing a national abortion ban. He wouldn't do that. She lied about President Trump banning IVF. He wouldn't do that. In fact, he wants to fund IVF. She lied and claimed that Project 2025 was President Trump's agenda, when it's clearly not. His agenda is on his website. He's disavowed Project 2025. If the moderators wanted to play the role of fact-checker, they should have stopped Kamala Harris and fact-checked those. But they wanted to play the role of putting their thumb on the scale and running cover for Kamala Harris, and the American people see that.
It's still stunning to me that they're still rolling with the bloodbath line as well. That was mentioned. The very fine people on both sides, I believe, was mentioned. Like they were playing classic hits.
There's the greatest hits album.
It's incredible that still plays and that people still believe that in any way, shape, or form. People know on both sides that is completely patently false.
And I think a lot of people that see that and know the truth, they see that and they see that Democrats have no argument. I mean, they're completely desperate. Yes. They're making things up. They're just making one thing up after the next. And those are really insidious smears. Those aren't lying about someone's position on taxes or something like that. Those are really malicious smears to label against someone falsely. And they know they're false. And that's why we see this really Trump derangement syndrome around the country. And President Trump brought this up in the debate. He took a bullet for democracy, and yet Democrats continue to smear him, continue to level these malicious smears But President Trump's a fighter. He's going out there. He's making sure he's getting his message out there, and he's not going to be intimidated by these sneers. In fact, as we saw in the debate, it only makes him fight harder for the American people.
Tommy, I'm going to play a piece of audio here, and you talk about how the moderators did not fact-check Kamala Harris, and pretty much about 85 to 90% of the media just stay silent when she talks about some of this nonsense that's been debunked time after time. This is a little clip of Kamala Harris talking about guns this year compared to just a few years ago.
Business about taking everyone's guns away. Tim Walz and I are both gun owners. We're not taking anybody's guns away, so stop with the continuous lying about this stuff.
I support buybacks, and it's something I'm so passionate about and so looking forward to being president to address. We've got to deal with this.
How mandatory is your gun buyback program?
It's mandatory.
And Tommy, we're not talking about like 20 years. You know, like Joe Biden may have thought about something one way when he first got into Congress, but he's changed his mind over 40 years. We're talking about 2019 to now.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. I mean, and she said that repeatedly. It was not a one-off comment. It was a central tenet that she was running on, these mandatory gun buybacks, this gun confiscation plan that she has. And she not only said that she wanted to pursue this, she wanted to pursue it through executive action. She wanted to do it unilaterally without the support of Congress. So it adds a whole nother level of this. And then at the same time, in contrast, which I really think it's insulting to be targeting legal gun owners, she's refusing to actually enforce the law against people that are breaking the law. So on one hand, she wants to give a pass to illegal immigrants. She wants to give a pass to criminals. She has given a pass to criminals as DA, and yet now she wants to target legal gun owners. I mean, that is her policy. And people aren't fooled. They see what she said, and they know that she's, as Bernie Sanders himself said, just trying to hide her policy so she can try to get elected. But the moment she's elected, she's going to govern like she always governed, from the farthest left of her party.
Tommy, last thing here before we let you go. Donald Trump was speaking in California a little bit earlier today, and one of the things that he was rolling out was this new plan to eliminate taxes on overtime pay. Now, he's already talked about trying to get rid of taxes on tips and gratuity. I believe Kamala has since hijacked that same idea, but now he's talking about doing it with overtime pay.
That's exactly right. And it's about making sure that these tax breaks go to working Americans. And what better way to do it than eliminating taxes on overtime and eliminating taxes on tips? And yet Kamala Harris, I think the big question is going to be, when is she going to adopt this policy too? But the big question there is, or the big point to make, is that Kamala Harris has a record of actually going after working Americans when it comes to taxes. She raised the tax burden on working Americans. She targeted tips. So Kamala Harris's record shows that more empty promises from her. And unlike Comrade Kamala, President Trump has a record of delivering on his promises. He's delivered tax relief for working Americans before. He'll do it again. So he has that plan. No taxes on tips, no taxes on overtime, no taxes on Social Security for seniors. That'll help working Americans on the fixed income. That'll help them the most. And that's exactly who needs relief, especially given these higher prices.
Tommy Pickett is the RNC Strategic Communications Director. We'll do it again next week. Have a great weekend, T-Pig.
Have a good weekend. Have a good one.
You got it. It's the Hammer and Nigel show.
Yeah, here in the next month or two, planning on having some Galaxy concrete coatings come down and look at my basement. The furnace room specifically, the concrete in there is horrible. Furnace rooms and basements are always just creepy to me, but once I get that new Galaxy concrete coating down there, it'll be awesome. Just as awesome as the job they did on my garage floor last year, and they don't use epoxy, by the way. That's the old standard, the old stuff the other guys use. They use polyurea. It's the new premium standard for coatings, and it looks absolutely beautiful. They do your garage, basement, pool deck, any indoor or outdoor area concrete. Go to the website, see pictures, get a quote, galaxyconcretecoatings.com, or give them a call, 751-9070. Tell them Nigel sent you.
Whether it's the good food or the friendly mood, you can count on Indiana to never lose when it comes to tailgating. And we want to see you at every game. That's why Hubler's got you covered with the best warranty around. So kick off the season in a Hubler quality pre-owned vehicle. Choose from over 2,000 Chevys, Fords, GMCs, Buicks, Nissans, Acuras, Mazdas, Hondas, and many more. All makes and models. Certified. Luxury. even the hard-to-find ones. Every Hubler Q-certified vehicle is covered by a 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty and includes a 128-point vehicle inspection, plus a free Carfax history report. Keep the tradition alive, knowing Hubler's got you covered for 100,000 miles.
Hubler's got you covered.
Visit drivehubler.com or any of our 12 locations.
Cover me!
Warranty on select models less than 9 years old.
Hey, Bill, where you been? You're overdue for a haircut.
Man, listen, my water pipes burst and flooded my house. Place a mess. I've been staying with my daughter till I can figure out what to do.
You trying to fix it and move back in?
No way. It's too big a mess. It'll cost me tens of thousands of dollars. I ain't got that kind of money.
You trying to sell it then?
Well, that's what I'd like to do, but who's going to buy my house in this condition?
Did you call Simple Quarters?
Simple Quarters?
Simple Quarters bought our house when we were in a jam. We needed to move real quick. They closed fast and gave us cash.
Simple Quarters will buy in any condition?
That's right. They buy as is. You don't have to repair anything or clean anything out. It's simple.
What do I have to do?
Just call them. They'll do a quick walkthrough, then they'll make you an offer.
Simple Quarters is a local Christian company that loves to help people in difficult situations. Call Simple Quarters at 317-900-HOME. That's 317-900-HOME. Check us out at simplequarters.com.
Will you be there?
This is just such a prestigious place and such hallowed ground.
Reigning Brickyard 400 champ and 2024 Indy 500 Rookie of the Year, Kyle Larson will try to make history, racing and winning the Indy 500 presented by Gamebridge and the NASCAR Coca-Cola 600 in the same day.
I love you, Indiana fans. How about we come back next May and try and kiss these bricks on the IndyCar?
Don't miss your chance to see Kyle Larson take on two-time defending champion Joseph Newgarden and all the stars of IndyCar at the 109th running of the Indianapolis 500.
See you guys all next May.
For ticket info, visit ims.com.
I was struggling to maintain contact with the professional world.
Dr. Ferner of Indianapolis talks about why he got the new Captel caption phone from Relay Indiana.
When I got the Captel phone, it turned it around.
Go to RelayIndiana.com. That's RelayIndiana.com. And read up on the Captel caption phone.
People that I talk with do not necessarily know that I have this Captel service. It's a piece of cake.
Go to RelayIndiana.com to learn more.
Have you lost Indiana Medicaid? At healthcare.gov, you can find a low-cost, quality health plan.
Do plans cover doctor visits?
What about emergency care?
And prescriptions?
All covered and more. Plus, with the new law, 4 out of 5 customers can find a plan for $10 or less per month with financial help. Healthcare.gov is here for you. Enroll today for coverage starting the 1st of next month. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
The Sundown Gardens Fall Open House is Saturday. Local craft vendors 11 to 3, Hamilton County Llamas 11 to 1, 186th Street and Spring Mill Road in Westfield.
To celebrate, Bee Employee Owned, Bee's offering employee pricing 60% off plus 18 months no interest, no payment.
Proud to be employee owned. Trust me.
You want to listen all day to WIBC, but you don't always have time. Don't worry. There's a podcast for that. The WIBC Mashup. Daily highlights from your favorite hosts, Tony Katz, Kendall and Casey, and Hammer and Nigel. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
Alan Green is in for Matt Bear.
Thanks, Hammer. 65 southbound jams up between 29th and Meridian. 70 eastbound is heavy between West and Meridian. 465 northbound slows Pendleton Pike to 75th. And 465 westbound backs up between Ditch and the Dogleg. This report brought to you by B Window. Now employee-owned, B Window is celebrating this month with employee pricing for everyone. Get 60% off plus 18 months, no interest or payments. Trust your home to B. Visit bwindow.com for details. I'm Alan Green. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
83 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. Coming up a little bit after 4 o'clock, a lot of threats on schools. I'm not sure if you guys have been keeping up on this. It's been a wild 48 hours, and we're going to talk about that, plus some major staffing issues at the IMPD. That's coming up a little bit after 4. Dateline Queensland, Australia, Nige. The health department in Queensland went viral for a post on social media telling people to go number 2 at work more.
I thought you were going to say something like to get your 8th booster because they're all COVID vaxxed lunatics over there. But you're saying the health department is encouraging people to poop more at work?
That's correct. They say there's nothing to be ashamed of.
Okay.
So where are you at with this? Let's say our boss, David Wood, comes to you and says, Nigel, listen, I need you here a lot more during the day. I am somebody that needs you here more hours.
Yes.
If that means you have to poop here, then so be it.
That's something I try to avoid if at all possible while I'm here. I'm not saying it always works. I'm not saying I always adhere by that strategy, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the point is of a campaign to tell employees that it's okay to go number 2 at work. Like I'll take a little power nap in the office for 10 minutes, and man, I'm like bright-eyed, bushy-tailed after that. But I'm not taking a power poop.
A power poop at work.
That means in and out as soon as possible, because when I do that, it's got to be in and out.
It kind of depends on where you're at, right? If I work here, I can find a clean bathroom. Now, I'm not touching that thing that's across the hall from us, but there are other floors where you can go to where it's a little more clean. But if I worked at like a truck stop somewhere, no, it's got to be home bowl. And there was a Family Guy episode where Quagmire and Peter Griffin started like a folk band, and one of their songs was called Home Bowl.
I can't poop in strange places. I can only poop in my home. It's as though I'm watched by strange faces. It's why I never roam. Home bowl, home bowl. You know just what I mean.
Big finish.
Home bowl, home bowl. Poop before my anus bleeds.
From Family Guy, tribute to Home Bowl there. All right. Hey, big weekend of college football. Let's get some wins.
Yes.
Let's get back on track. You got Notre Dame at Purdue, the Hoosiers in prime time on television tomorrow night, the Degenerates next door. Myself, Rob Kendall, we've got professional gamblers giving you free picks. Download the podcast today.
Hey, it's Rob. If you want to grow your hair back, check out the precision and accuracy of the Artist Robotic FUE at We Grow Hair Indie. You'll be amazed at the permanent natural results you can get and get back to work ASAP. Darren Andrews, Clinic Director of We Grow Hair Indie, is here to tell us more.
The Artist Robotic FUE hair transplant at We Grow Hair Indie, one of the most sophisticated hair transplant procedures available. The accuracy and the precision of the Artist Robotic FUE is what clients love the most. Get the results you want with our Artist FUE or multi-unit hair grafting procedure.
Don't wait. Call today and find out more about the Artist Robotic FUE at WeGrowHairIndie.com. Call 317-522-2995 for your hair evaluation. 317-522-2995 or go to WeGrowHairIndie.com. and grow your hair back today.
Consumer warning. Stay away from stablecoin Tether. Tether is a cryptocurrency company with a so-called stablecoin called USDT. It's supposed to be backed one for one by the US dollar. But Tether's murky past exposes Americans to outsized risk, shady practices, false claims, legal entanglements, deliberate lack of transparency. The United Nations called Tether the preferred choice for regional cyber fraud operations and money launderers. Tether has never published an independent audit of its finances and operations. Financial rating company S&P gave Tether a high-risk rating, a major red flag. Warning: owning a stablecoin that isn't independently audited comes with enormous risk. Where there's smoke, there's fire. Steer clear of stablecoin Tether. Visit tetherwarning.com to learn more. Paid for by Consumers Research.
You know Diamonds Direct for their exquisite diamonds and fine jewelry.
What about luxury watches? With a handpicked collection by the industry's top timepiece experts, skip the waiting list and get the timepiece you've been eyeing right away. And this month only, enjoy 0% interest for 5 years on all the top brands. Imagine owning a $15,000 luxury watch for just $250 a month. Spread your payments over 5 years with 0 interest on approved credit. Diamonds Direct, where you can shop direct for diamonds and watches.
ZZ Top. Leonard Skinnerd. 2 American institutions unite. The sharp-dressed Simple Man Tour. Tomorrow, Ruoff Music Center. Special guest, The Outlaws. On sale now at livenation.com. ZZ Top and Leonard Skinnerd live. Part of the Coors Light Concert Series.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Of course I love my parents, I really do, but often felt angry with them because I was always screaming so they could hear me on the telephone. All that has changed thanks to the CapTel phone from Relay, Indiana. We're so much better off because now my parents can read what I'm saying on the CapTel caption telephone. Our conversations are pleasant because through voice recognition technology, my words appear to them on an easy-to-read screen right on the telephone. Thanks, Relay, Indiana.
Learn more at RelayIndiana.com.
Coming up in 2 minutes, security improvements are top of mind after a Wednesday night murder at the Indiana Convention Center. 2 juveniles charged with making school threats. And Ryan Hedrick explains why you may want to pay close attention to your AES bill. Those stories and more next from the Technology Recycler Studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's now 4 o'clock.
She's feeling good about Pennsylvania. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. That's what Vice President Kamala Harris told reporters visiting a bookstore before holding a rally in a state with one of the closest races in recent polls.
And I will be continuing to travel around the state to make sure that I'm listening as much as we are talking, and ultimately I feel very strongly that got to earn every vote.
She's been hammering former President Trump on his debate performance at other rallies.
I thought the debate was great. I thought I did very well, but I was fighting 3 people.
At a news conference in Harris's home state, California, Trump again accusing the ABC moderators of bias. But a day after saying there won't be any more debates, he's now not ruling it out. Fox's Aisha Hasni.
And this is what he told me. He said, I wouldn't need anything. I would do it tomorrow. I've done 2 debates. The second one was crooked. And then he said this, maybe if I got in the right mood, I don't know. Right now, I'm leading. So leaving the door cracked open to basically, if he feels like he needs to do it later, he will.
President Biden calling out Trump for repeating a claim with no evidence that Haitian immigrants in Springfield, Ohio are stealing and eating animals.
Community that's under attack in our country right now. Simply wrong.
Saying his predecessor's attacks on immigrants have to stop. This as the White House faces questions about requests for federal funding to help with an influx of migrants in Springfield.
We have been working with Springfield, Ohio in particular, since the spring. We need more funding. We need more. And that is why the president and his team got together with Republicans and Democrats in the Senate.
White House spokeswoman Karine Jean-Pierre blaming Trump for a bipartisan border bill failing to pass the Senate. Stocks finish higher, the Dow up 297 at the bell. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Making sure it doesn't happen again. Good afternoon. It's partly sunny and 83. I'm Donnie Burgess. Here's what's trending at 4:02. A man was stabbed to death inside of the Indiana Convention Center in downtown Indy Wednesday night. While police investigate, the attention now turns to security measures at the convention center.
We had our 24-hour security in place.
The armed IMPD uniformed off-duty officers were on the same floor.
Executive Director Andy Mallon at Thursday night's Indy City County Council meeting. Mallon says he wants to be held accountable and is working on further security improvements. A 12 and 15-year-old each face charges over online school threats. Indiana State Police are light on the details now, but they say the two suspects are related to 3 separate school threats made over the past week. High schools in Terre Haute were among the latest to receive threats. Late fees and disconnections will resume once again, says AES Indiana. Ryan Hedrick reports.
Last year, the utility installed a new billing system that overcharged people, sometimes double and tripling their bills. So they put a moratorium in place to prevent extra fees and service disconnections. AES now says that the grace period will end on November 1st. They also announced that they no longer have to visit your home in order to shut your service off. They could do that remotely. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Indiana gas down 18 cents from last Friday, says AAA. You and your four-legged friends can spend time outside this weekend and support a local shelter. Here's Terry Stacy.
Mutt Strut 2024 benefiting Indy Humane is Saturday at White River State Park.
We're going to have live music, and we're going to have beer garden, and we're going to have vendor booths, we're going to have goodie bags, scavenger hunts, food trucks. There's just a lot of different contests that you and your furry friends can participate in.
Liv Barwinska says it starts at 10 a.m. Visit indyhumane.org to register. Terry Stacy, WIBC Mobile News.
Traffic and weather next. WIBC News Time, 4:04.
Okay, we are running a car drive right now to help veterans all across America. So if you have an old car, truck, or van, even a motorcycle or an RV sitting around, you can right now give it away and help the vets. They really need your help. And your car will help support the vets and their families. And guess what? You even get a tax donation. Plus, we'll even come and pick up your car for free. And all you've got to do is pick up your phone right now and make a free call. Now is the perfect time to do something good for the vets. Give back to the vets right now for all they've done for this country. And your old car can really help them. So call the Veterans Car Donation Program right now for free pickup of your vehicle. Help the vets and help your taxes at the same time. Call right now.
800-883-3024. 800-883-3024. 800-883-3024. That's 800-883-3024.
With traffic on the 5s at 4:05, here's Alan Green.
Thanks, Donnie. On 465 southbound at Brookville, there's a crash being worked. 65 southbound slows up from 29th to Meridian. 70 eastbound backs up between West and Meridian. And 465 westbound from Ditch to the Dog Lake seeing some delays. This report brought to you by Mr. Quick Home Services. Don't wait for the cold to creep in. Get a head start with Mr. Quick's pre-season furnace tune-up for just $29. Their certified technicians will ensure your heating system is running efficiently. MrQuickHomeServices.com. I'm Alan Green. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And now the forecast brought to you by the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
We'll have a few clouds early this Friday evening, but they'll clear in the overnight hours. Low temperatures drop to the mid-60s and winds out of the southeast at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Saturday looks like 90 and sunny. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Drew Arsutis for 93 WIBC.
The Hammer and Nigel Show up next. I'm Donnie Burgess on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters?
My name is Nigel. Jason Hammers over there with a few more details on some of these threats coming in around central Indy concerning schools.
So I'm looking at this from Fox 59. An Indiana 7th grader has been charged with making online threats to various middle schools around central Indy. This is at least the 15th Hoosier student to be arrested on these types of charges this year alone. Indy and Terre Haute have been the places where it's been most affected. And then Angela Ganote, who also works over at Fox 59, says that in the last 48 hours, a number of threats have come into various schools, and the arrests that she knows of at this point, going back to the beginning of the school year, August 6th, you had Perry Meridian, 1 student arrested. Marion, 2 juveniles arrested. Anderson, 1 student arrested. Warren Township, 1 student arrested.
What is going on?
Richmond, a 14-year-old arrested. And IPS, a 12 and a 15-year-old arrested.
And these were all because of some sort of threat directed towards the school, mainly via social media.
Correct.
That sounds...
It feels like this is part of a big coordinated type of deal.
The word coordination popped into my head. I have no proof of that, but it just sounds like it's too much of a coincidence. I mean, how many of these things are they actually dealing with? I mean, how many threats have been out there that we don't know about?
Right.
That don't get caught?
That's an awful lot of students to be taken into custody this year for making threats.
And throw the book at them.
Be tough on these little punks.
I mean, because as we've seen throughout the history of school shootings, most of these people are known to police. Most of these kids have made previous threats, like the one in Georgia most recently, and they follow through with them. Thank God, most of the time, these threats are without any teeth, but why take a chance? Kick these kids out of school. Don't let them come back. Ankle monitors, juvie.
Right. Lock them up.
In
Listen,
Noblesville, yeah.
It's okay to put a kid behind bars. I'm sorry. For all you bleeding hearts, I'm sorry. If little Johnny or little Jane is going to make a threat to a school, lock them up. Let them learn a lesson or let them sit there. It's either going to be scared straight or maybe this is what they need to keep them out of the population. I know you can't lock everybody up. There's just not enough room, but make some decisions. But it seems like, based off of the conversations I've had with multiple school resource officers around Central Indy, and I'm talking about different school districts, different sides of town, folks that are school resource officers, the problem they face is that when they do have a problem student, let's say there's a violent fight or somebody brings a knife to school or something worse, they call the authorities and the prosecutor of these kids does nothing about it. Nothing. They might get kicked out of school, maybe for a couple of weeks of suspension, and then come right back. So I'm with you, Nige. Start making an example out of these little kids, man. Make an example out of these turds. I'm done with it. It's not fair to all the other families that they have to worry and stress out and sweat because little Johnny over here is making a threat to the school, but we don't want to lock him up. My ass, lock him up.
Somebody named Christian is tweeting us something about a threat at Beech Grove Middle School this week. Did you know anything about that?
There was an email that sent out. A lot of these threats have been made at middle schools. So like when we told you all those folks that have been arrested, if you looked at the ages, a lot of them were middle school aged.
Oh, my God.
Which, again, we don't have any sort of proof, I guess is the right word. I don't know. But it just feels coordinated.
They weren't credible threats either, most of them.
But I know the school resource officers treated them all as if they were
I
credible.
want them all treated as credible. Of course.
And speaking of police, man, this is pretty dark. I feel like this warrants more attention. The IMPD chief, Chris Bailey, he was speaking to the city county council this past week, and he says for IMPD to function the way they should for a city this size, they need to have around 2,000 police officers to function as a major city. Right now, they're only funded for 1,743. But staffing is down to 1,464. So if the chief is saying we need 2,000 to be a functioning metropolis here, and we've only got 1,464, we're about 550 officers short. And you're going to start seeing some cuts in things that the police provide if this doesn't get fixed.
I mean, retention seems to be the problem, according to our friend Rick Snyder from the FOP. I mean, retention is the problem. IMPD hired 400 cops, but 650 cops left. And also the thing that stuck out to me there is that if I'm reading this correctly, Chief Police Bailey said they are only funded for 1,700 cops.
Right.
Only staffing 1,400 cops. So they're 550 cops short, but even if they could hire 2,000 officers, it doesn't seem, if, again, I'm reading this correctly, that they have the funding for it.
And just so you know what's happening at your city county council, when they're not working on this ridiculous Joe Hogsett, completely bought and paid for investigation, you've got council members like Carlos Perkins stating that Indianapolis should reduce and lower funding for IMPD. Since they can't reach their goal right now, take money away from them.
Great idea.
Yeah, that's really going to work.
Yeah, no kidding.
That's going to work.
Dummy.
But you're right, Nige. This isn't a recruitment issue. It's a retention issue because nobody wants to work for Ryan Mears and Joe Hogsett. That's it. These officers aren't getting out of law enforcement. They're just going to other departments where they're respected, where they've got a support system in place, where they're viewed as positive members of the community, not problems. So until that gets fixed, man, I don't know. This is going to be a bad, bad story because Indy is wanting to do all these events, man. Indy is such a tourist convention-driven town. What's going to happen when you're about 550 officers short?
Yeah.
You're going to start outsourcing to other departments? Man, going to start being expensive. Now, speaking of conventions and sports and all things Indy, Indy Sports Corp has rolled out this thing called Vision 2050. This is a big plan that they rolled out this week. They want to make Indianapolis the women's sports capital of the world.
Okay.
By the year 2050.
Sure, why not?
I mean, if you look at the way this city has rallied behind Caitlin Clark, and when we have the women's Final Four here and all of that kind of stuff, makes sense. You strike while the iron's hot, right? So that's going to be a big thing that you're going to see from the Indy Sports Corp. But look, if you want to keep the women safe, keep them away from the mayor's office. Bring them in here to compete. Bring them in here to do their sports, the swimming, the diving, the basketball, the gymnastics, the track and field. Just sweet Jesus, keep them away from Joe Hogsett's office because a lot of bad stuff happens over there.
No tours at the city county building, okay?
Nige, it is good to have you back.
Thank you.
Missed you yesterday.
Thank you.
Yesterday was National Day of Encouragement.
Oh, yeah.
And we went around the room and we all said nice things about each other.
I think I heard that, and I don't think you guys said anything nice about each other, but go ahead.
Well, we had somebody special lined up for you.
Oh,
but
did you?
Shocker, you weren't here.
I know. It was the last minute thing, but yeah, thank you.
But now that you're back,
Okay.
I felt I could call in the favor and see if they wanted to say something nice about you.
They? It's not going to be you or Allison?
No.
No.
Here to say something nice about Big Nige and his welcome back on the show with words of encouragement, AI Joe Hogsett.
Oh, no.
Hey, Nigel, you don't look fat today. You got a cigarette and a bottle of hooch. I ain't running for nothing. I ain't on the ballot. But seriously, I really respect your back fat and damaged liver. That's pretty cool.
See?
Hey, I just had the blood work done. Liver numbers are great. Just so everybody knows, triglycerides, that's something different. Liver numbers are fine.
Like, I'm waiting for your liver to be a problem because I want to know how far I can take mine.
Okay.
Like, seeing how much you drink tells me, okay, I'm still fine. Oh, Nigel's in trouble. I better slow it down. Alan Green is filling in for Matt Bear.
Wow, 465 southbound to Brookville. There's a crash on the off-ramp causing a bit of a backup there. Eastbound 465 is jammed up from Keystone to Allisonville. 465 eastbound on the south side slows from Kentucky to White River, and 65 southbound delays between King and the North Split. This report brought to you by Indeed.com. Make the hiring process work for you with Indeed's end-to-end hiring solution. You can attract, interview, and hire candidates all from one place. Start at Indeed.com/credit. I'm Alan Green. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates, WIBC Traffic.
Right now it's 82 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. Go to the YouTube page, WIBC's YouTube page, and give us a like. We have to get over 100, or I've been told that multiple Haitians will be moving into Indianapolis. So you got to get us over 100 here.
There's nothing wrong with that.
They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats.
Oh, my God.
Hit like on that YouTube. We've got to get over 100.
Protect your geese. They've got geese. They're eating geese.
Please, for the love of God, hit that thumbs up. Get us over 100. Is this anything? Next.
Cindy Carrasco has spent a career holding the powerful accountable. As Indiana's Inspector General and Director of the State Ethics Commission, Cindy fought waste, fraud, and abuse wherever she found it. Cindy also combated wrongdoing in state government, which meant standing up and doing the right thing even if it wasn't popular. Now, as our state senator, Cindy Carrasco continues to fight on behalf of all Hoosiers by improving the quality of our children's education, providing tax relief for everyone, and working to make our communities safe by getting law enforcement the resources they need to fight crime, violence, and keep fentanyl away from our families. It's why Cindy has been endorsed by the Indiana Fraternal Order of Police, State Police Alliance, and the Professional Firefighters of Indiana. Because they know that Cindy has their back, and we know she has ours. Vote for more government transparency, better schools, lower taxes, and safer streets. Vote Cindy Carrasco for State Senate.
Paid for by Cindy for Senate.
Lynn just hates painting in the fall, so she called Rhino Shield.
It is a single-wide manufactured home. We moved from our home, which we had the Rhino Shield on. Rhino Shield was what we were going to do. That was no question. We knew we were going to do it.
Rhino Shield's a ceramic coating. It's not paint, it's better.
The Rhino Shield representative came and we discussed what we wanted done. And this time, we had the roof done as well.
Formulated for our specific climate here in Indy and comes with a 25-year transferable warranty.
We truly believe in this product.
Now get the guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield for 15% off the regular price. Plus, there's more great news. Rhino Shield is partnered with Green Sky Financing to offer no payments until 2026 for qualified buyers. Here's Rhino Shield Shane Smith.
Call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint. Go Rhino.
Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
High five. Up top. Heck yeah.
Dave's company just got the first ever 5-year price lock guarantee from Comcast Business.
Yeah, 5 years.
It's 5 years of gig speed internet.
High five for gig speed.
5 years of advanced security.
Security win.
And 5 years of a great rate that won't change.
Our rate ain't changing.
All from the company with 99.9% network reliability.
There it is.
He hasn't given this many high fives since Deborah brought in her famous banana bread.
Woohoo!
Now he's got savings.
I'm so excited.
Yep, Dave's feeling it. But it's only for a limited time, so don't wait. Switch today and ask how to get the first ever 5-year price lock guarantee from Comcast Business. Powering 5 years of savings. Powering possibilities. Comcast Business.
And it's hurting, but I am not stopping.
Ends 9/22/24. Guaranteed rate applies to monthly service charge for new customers on qualifying internet bundle, excluding taxes and fees. Other restrictions apply.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career and they talked to me about it.
He was done in just months.
I did do it online.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at My Computer Career.
It worked for me and I know it can work for you.
It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
Seems like there's more identity theft in the news every day.
Another major healthcare breach was reported today, resulting in the exposure.
Now, 1 in 4 consumers have been a victim of identity.
That's because there are endless places that could accidentally expose you to identity theft, in a breach, or simply by mistake. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Hey, don't take your eyes off the road, just listen. What you hear right now, your customers hear it too. Get your message heard. Text BUSINESS to 71007 now. Get results with Radio 1.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by Sundown Gardens, Hamilton County's fall nursery headquarters.
Hammer and Nigel presents
It depends upon what the meaning of the word is.
Is this anything?
All right, let's rock and roll.
Nigel. Got a water gun at home? Do you and the kids
Several.
have a water gun?
Several. Yeah, the neighborhood kids use them all the time. Got our money's worth out of those things for sure this summer.
You ever call the police on anybody for using those?
No.
Dateline Canada. 58-year-old woman in Canada was arrested and charged with assault after she accidentally sprayed a neighbor with a water gun while she was playing with some kids.
What?
Now, the guy's got a reputation for being kind of an a-hole in the neighborhood, but the police did not cut this woman any slack. Here's Wendy telling her side of this crazy story.
Because I love kids and work with kids, I asked him if he had any water guns, and he said, yeah. I was trying to figure out how the water gun was working, and it accidentally hit the neighbor that was like maybe 3 feet away cutting his grass. They had told my husband to bring your wife out of the backyard, that I'm being charged with assault with a weapon. They didn't ask me one single question. They didn't interview one single person. I've cried myself to sleep many nights.
Yeah, this is something. First of all, I mean, the police in Canada are suspect, in my opinion. I mean, these were the people that were throwing individuals in jail, the truckers that were protesting and during COVID, people that were walking outside without a mask on. And now they have an extremist attack on free speech with a bill that's kind of making its way through the parliament there. And it doesn't surprise me that something like this would happen in that country at all. And I this makes no sense to me whatsoever.
Assault with a water gun? That's what I'm going to be charged with? She got hit with an assault charge.
And it was an accident.
Right.
It was an accident. Canada is very Orwellian. I mean, there's some aspects of the United States that are Orwellian, but they're on a different level up there.
So if you accidentally get sprayed with a water gun, that's assault. Based on that logic, could you file a class action lawsuit against God and Jesus if it rains, calling that reckless abandonment? I'm not a lawyer.
Where do you send that summons to? Where do you send that subpoena?
It's a great question. I don't know. I'm sure Justin Trudeau will find somebody to take up that frivolous nonsense.
I'm looking at just a random headline at The Atlantic, which is a far left-leaning progressive liberal rag. Canada's extremist attack on free speech. A bill making its way through Parliament would impose draconian criminal penalties on hate speech and curtail people's liberty in order to stop crimes they haven't committed.
If the Atlantic thinks things are Orwellian, good Lord, get ready, Bal. Man.
So whatever that was that you just described to me is something, and it sounds like it's pretty much par for the course up in Canada.
If you got youngsters in the car, you might want to have some earmuffs ready for this story.
Oh, no.
A man in Washington, D.C. was caught performing a lewd act on himself in broad daylight with a cucumber, then putting it back in his lunchbox and walking away like nothing happened.
I'm just going to save that for later, huh?
Here are people from the neighborhood talking about what in the blue hell they witnessed.
I want my neighbors to know and keep an eye out for this person. I want parents to be mindful. They're high school students. They walk by themselves to and from school.
Just children walking around. You just have neighborhood kids, elementary school, middle school, and high school.
It was that eye contact that really unsettled me because it then continues for longer than one would imagine.
Oh, there was eye contact made when he was doing that to himself but I tell you what, Jerry Nadler's really gone downhill. You know, old Nads. I mean, honestly, my goodness. I mean, the guy needs, don't get me wrong, the guy needs fruit.
Wow.
He needs, the U.S. representative for the 12th District in New York. But Nadler needs fruit in his diet, but this is not what I had in mind. And the other question that comes to mind is, where is that cucumber now? And has it been consumed? And did they wash it, if indeed they consumed it?
I thought you were going to make a joke about how, boy, this cucumber tastes like crap. But no, you went in a different direction, and you brought down old Nads. damn glad to have you back on the show, Nige. Well done. Do we have time for this last story?
Oh, yeah.
I think we have to make time for it.
Did you hear about this at all?
Somebody sent this to me, and I didn't know what to make of it. I actually talked about this on my Outkick hit earlier today, but Shannon Sharpe, NFL Hall of Famer, ESPN host, he's now apologized because he, quote, mistakenly live streamed himself having relations on his Instagram account. Now, you couldn't see the act. You just heard the noises.
Oh, okay.
A lot of breaths and grunting, if you will.
Nice.
He refers to Michelle in the audio. He blamed his lack of technology skills for the embarrassing incident. Now, again, caution here, but take a listen. Sounds like he has other skills. Here's a little quick clip. Listen to Shannon grunting in this thing.
No.
Okay, that's enough.
That sounds like a bear hibernating in the woods. You're telling me that's Shannon Sharpe?
Shannon Sharpe doing the hibbity-dibbity.
Laying on top of a lady? Going...
I heard that sound coming out of that unisex bathroom across the hall earlier. I didn't know what was going on.
He's apologized, right, and admits his mistake, and everybody. But that kind of reminded me of what popped into my head when I heard that. It reminds me of when a young Forrest Gump was making fun of the dude that was hooking up, the school administrator that was hooking up with his mom.
Right.
Your mama sure does care about your schooling, son.
Oh, good Lord. Oh.
This is one of my favorite segments ever.
Can I continue it?
There's more?
Great moments in grunting history. This is when some prankster hijacked the intercom on the airline and was making weird grunting noises.
Ladies and gentlemen, we realize there is an extremely irritating sound coming over the public announcements. The flight deck is trying to troubleshoot, trying to turn it off. So please be patient with us. We know this is a very odd anomaly and none of us are enjoying it. So we do appreciate your attention just for a few more moments so we figure out how to turn it off. Thank you.
There's one person that was enjoying it.
Great moments in grunting history.
My man Spencer and his crew still have the Made in the USA sale going on at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus. Those guys just delivered some beautiful patio furniture, and my wife and I and the kids have been using it all summer long. They've got Lazy Boys starting at $399. Queen mattresses starting at $399. Sofas $499. Interest-free financing available. And did I mention free delivery, plus a low price guarantee on Tempur-Pedic mattresses? Again, another acquisition I made from Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus. We love our Tempur-Pedic mattress.
Thompson Furniture and Mattress down in Columbus. These guys are the best. They still have free delivery and setup if you live within 75 miles of their store. So when everybody else is raising prices, they still offer free delivery and setup. Owned and operated by the same family for a long time. ThompsonFurniture.net in Columbus. They support what we do here at Hammer and Nigel. Take care of these guys. Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
It's common knowledge that after age 30, our metabolism changes. We have less energy and gain weight easier. There's a way to feel better, not in years or months, but sometimes in just days.
I'm Chuck Norris. I tried everything. Working with a team of health experts, we came up with Morning Kick. Morning Kick is a revolutionary new formula that combines all my favorite supplements into one daily drink.
Morning Kick has probiotics to help you lose weight, prebiotics for digestion, superfoods for muscles and joints, and powerful anti-aging supplements. It'll help you feel youthful, energized, and helps manage stress.
I look and feel better than I have in years.
Go to roundhouseprovisions.com, use code HEALTH, or text HEALTH to 511-511 and claim 40% off. Roundhouseprovisions.com, code HEALTH.
Every purchase comes with our 90-day money-back guarantee. You could be feeling these changes within just a couple of days.
Text HEALTH to 511-511.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Tax fees may apply.
If you've ever put off dealing with plumbing problems, you don't have to live that way. Maybe you tried to fix a leaky faucet yourself, or you're wishing that slow drain is going to magically start flowing again. Well, it's not. Stop putting things off and call Lance and his local team at LD Smith Plumbing. They'll give you honest advice at a fair price, and they leave your home even better than they found it. That's ldsmithplumbing.com. And tell them your second favorite plumber in the whole world, Denny Smith, sent you. ldsmithplumbing.com.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
She says the rumors and conspiracies have to stop. You've got 82 degrees, low 68 tonight. I'm Donnie Burgess. Here's what's trending at 4:33. Cats and dogs are not being devoured by Haitian migrants in Ohio, say city officials in Springfield. Former President Trump should stop repeating the lie, says White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre.
We're going to continue to call that out and condemn that type of vitriolic behavior. We will certainly offer any assistance if needed on the ground by the local police.
The story apparently started with a woman in Canton, Ohio, who police say did eat a cat. Investigators are blaming that situation on mental health. Just getting word of an Indy Metro police officer placed on administrative duty due to allegations. That's the word from IMPD, and they're not saying much else. 2 other officers face child sex crime charges over the last few weeks. A man was killed at the Indiana Convention Center Wednesday night, even though extra security measures had been added months earlier.
The executive director of the convention center, Andy Mallon, is addressing concerns about building safety. He says the staff works hard to keep everyone safe at all times.
The Indiana Convention Center is a place of commerce. It's a place for the public. It is a place meant to be open. It was designed with hundreds of doors. We lock all those doors whenever we can.
Mallon spoke at a city-county council committee meeting Thursday. He said lots of money has been spent on controlled access points, card readers, and more cops at the convention center. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
The 2024 Mutt Strut is taking place this Saturday in support of Indy Humane.
We're going to have live music, and we're going to have beer garden, and we're going to have vendor booths, we're going to have goodie bags, scavenger hunts, food trucks. There's just a lot of different contests that you and your furry friends can participate in.
Liv Barwinska talking to WIBC's Terry Stacy. You can register at indyhumane.org. And McDonald's is planning some customer experience changes at their restaurants. The changes will include how you order meals and make payments. One idea floating around is only putting promotions and popular items on the menu boards. No word on when the changes could actually roll out. The closing bell report on 93 WIBC. The Dow Jones up 297 points, finishing the day 41,393. The NASDAQ in the positive territory, up 114 points, 17,683 at the end of today. And the S&P 500, not to be left behind, up 30 points, finishing at 5,626. WIBC News Time, 4:35. Traffic and weather coming up in 1 minute.
Warning, the following ZipRecruiter radio spot you are about to hear is going to be filled with F words.
When you're hiring, we at ZipRecruiter know you can feel frustrated, forlorn even, like your efforts are futile, and you can spend a fortune trying to find fabulous people, only to get flooded with candidates who are just fine. Fortunately, ZipRecruiter figured out how to fix all of that. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, you can forget your frustrations because we find the right people for your roles fast, which is our absolute favorite F word. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day.
Fantastic.
So, whether you need to hire 4, 40, or 400 people, get ready to meet first-rate talent. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. Don't forget, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Finally, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
With traffic, here's Alan Green.
Thank you, Donnie. On 465, there's a crash on the exit ramp to Brookville. They got trucks out there trying to get it cleared out. 465 eastbound is heavy Westfield to Allisonville. Eastbound 465 slows from 70 to White River. 65 southbound delays from 29th into the North Split. This report's brought to you by B-Window. Now employee-owned, B-Window is celebrating this month with employee pricing for everyone. Get 60% off plus 18 months, no interest or payments. Trust your home to B. Visit bwindow.com for details. I'm Alan Green. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And now the forecast brought to you by the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
While we do have a few clouds early this Friday evening, they will clear out overnight. Low temperatures drop into the mid-60s and will be mostly sunny and around the 90-degree mark as you make your way towards Saturday afternoon. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Drew Narsutis for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Donnie Burgess on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
It is the Hammer and Nigel show. I'm Jason Hammer. Big Nige is here. And let's go to the hotline right now and bring on somebody that was at the Joe Hogsett press conference yesterday from Indy Politics and our very own WIBC weekend lineup. Abdul is here. Abdul, I didn't think Joe Hogsett was going to say anything of note yesterday. He wasn't going to come out and say, hell yeah, I was drunk this past weekend. I was having a good time. Hell yeah, I knew about Thomas Carl Cook. He said everything we thought he was going to say. But you were there. Take me through his body language and take me through whether you bought everything that he had to say yesterday.
Well, first of all, my friend, always good to be here with you guys on the program this afternoon. Like I said, I was there. All the media was there, basically TV, radio, newspaper, online, you name it. And you're right. From a content perspective, the mayor really didn't say anything new. There was a lot of, hey, I'm signing the ordinance to put together this investigation, see how this happened. I'll cooperate with the investigation. If I'm, called to witness or testify, I'll cooperate. But then a lot of the questions, for example, some of the dynamics. So when you first found out about this, why did you do the discipline? You did it this way. Why do it this way? The mayor basically said it would be inappropriate to either answer that because it would be inappropriate to answer that question right now because an investigation is taking place. Or the other thing that really so surprised me was you have to ask HR. But you're the mayor.
Right.
I mean, you're like the president. You're responsible for the actions of your crew, regardless. So you should know this. He's like, well, you have to ask HR. Like, well, hell, why are you here? Well, just go get HR and go downstairs to the 15th floor and and talk to HR. But HR isn't going to say anything because HR is in this sort of weird category. Personnel records, which if you release unauthorized, you can actually end up in court and get sued. So from that perspective, the city is between a rock and a hard place. But I do think, though, like I said, did the mayor say anything different yesterday? No, not really. Could he have done a whole lot more, maybe a little bit more detail? Probably.
There's a headline in Mirror Indy, which is a new kind of publication that's out in the city that says Joe Hogsett will not be releasing the 2017 investigation. And again, we talked about this earlier in the show. This is from the claims of a woman who says she was sexually harassed by Thomas Carl Cook, and that type of stuff was happening rampantly in the office. She was told there was an investigation. Do we know anything at all about this, Abdul?
Like I said, we brought that up too. Like, for example, when 2017 popped up and you had the first allegations of Thomas engaged in an inappropriate behavior, can we see this sort of documentation, the report, with the complaints that were filed? The mayor's basically saying that that would all be, quote unquote, inappropriate, as the investigation is going forward and taking place. So I'm assuming that once the investigation's over, all this information, all these documents will be released like a big giant data dump. So from that perspective, once again, the mayor is, using it as a sword and a shield. I'd love to talk to you guys, but I can't because, we have this investigation taking place.
And again, this accuser, she is going on social media. She's going scorched earth, basically saying that Joe Hogsett is full of crap here. And this is somebody that has worked in the office. It's not like it's a Republican accusing a Democrat or vice versa here, or anything we saw with Curtis Hill. Does that bring any more pressure to Joe Hogsett or pressure to the investigators that folks who used to work under you are very upset, and they're claiming that they've received no sort of information on an investigation or righting some wrongs?
I don't think it helps. As a matter of fact, and when you look at the news conference as a whole, did the city move forward? Did it stay where it was? Did it take a step backwards? I think overall it took a net step backwards because there was no new information. But number two, the other thing, which was once again really annoying, the mayor couldn't really answer any of our questions because there's a pending investigation. So it probably have been better had he just not said anything like, look, we have or put out a say, look, we have a pending investigation taking place. Once the investigation is complete, we'll answer all the questions to the best of our ability. But until the investigation is over, we're not going to answer any questions. And that would have been an easier messaging response than what they did yesterday.
Chatting with Abdul Hakim Shabazz of Indie Politics and the weekend lineup here at WIBC. So it's my understanding that Joe Hogsett has outsourced these independent investigators to look into what's going on. Now, the city county council investigative team that's been selected, there's been some questions about whether or not some of the Democrats that are a part of that have received money from Thomas Carl Cook in the past. The same Thomas Carl Cook who was the chief of staff of Joe Hogsett, that's kind of at the epicenter of everything going on here. Have you been able to look into that, Abdul?
Yeah. In a nutshell, I did some checking on that the other day when I saw some of the campaign contributions. And basically and it's not like Thomas gave thousands of dollars. He gave basically $250 here, $100 here, $250 there, which were all sort of it's what Democrats do. Democrats give each other money. Republicans give each other money. So I don't think this taints, any of their, perspective because Thomas Cook gave them $250. I mean, hell, if you're going to sell yourself for that much, I can get you a whole lot more.
Well, I get that. It's not thousands of dollars here, but the fact of the matter is he was still an ally to these people. He supported their campaigns. He gave them money. How can they be viewed as somebody that's impartial when they're looking into his sex harassment scandal? I think that's bizarre.
Well, but if you look at it, too, technically Thomas has given all the Democrats on the council money, in a nutshell, not just the ones who run the investigative committee. So yeah.
You understand what I'm saying, though? Like, to the average person is listening to this saying, wait a minute, the people doing the investigation have received a donation from this guy? That stinks.
It is the appearance now. I don't know what they would do, and they give the $250 back, but that really doesn't change anything. What's actually I would say if you want to go after somebody for campaign contributions, I look at what the mayor donated to all the Democratic City Council. Gave gave them $5,000 a piece. In 2023.
So that's even bigger, right? So the mayor's office, again, which is the place where we're talking about here, a couple different names are in play here, and all of this money is coming back to these Democrat counselors who are on this fact-finding committee. I understand why people think this whole thing is a waste of time.
But you got to get past sort of the initial skepticism. Like I said, I've known these people for years, and I have no doubt that they will do a fair job, in part because they're all mad right now. They are pissed off to no end, even though publicly they will say, no, we need to let the process work itself out with investigations, blah, blah, see where the facts come from. Right now they are pissed and they are livid. And the whole thing about recall when the mayor said he's not going to step down, well, the mayor said I have no intent of stepping down. Well, I have no intent of, playing basketball either. But if I did, I would suck at it. So guess what? When the mayor says I have no intent of stepping down, I do believe he has no intent of stepping down. But what we intend to do is one thing. What actually happens is usually something else.
Abdul, I've had so many listeners send us messages going, what can we do? I get there's no recall in Indiana, in the state of Indiana, a way to get Joe Hogsett out. What can people do if they feel like this is an unacceptable investigation? This is a guy that went missing during the riots. He's got one scandal after the other. He appeared drunk at an event this past weekend. What can people do, Abdul? Is there anything?
Yes, there's actually the I word, impeachment, because early on when all this sort of happened, I got some of those same emails like, hey, Abdul, is there a message to recall the mayor? Is there an effort to, can we boot him out of office? Like, well, I don't think you can recall an elected official in Indiana, but let me do some checking. And what I found out was Indiana does not have a recall statute per se. However, Indiana does have an impeachment statute, which means, if I interpret this correctly, the legislature can impeach a local official the legislative body of the city council can impeach a legislative official. And here's the other thing that no one really thought of. A citizen actually filed a lawsuit to impeach the mayor under the statute. If you go to indypolitics.org and type of impeachment, you'll see the long article that I wrote about the whole impeachment thing. So technically, you could go to trial in Marion County Court as long as you're a Marion County resident and file a lawsuit to have the mayor impeached.
Abdul, will you be my lawyer so I can do that? I'm a Marion County resident. Don't threaten me with a good time. Would you represent me if I did this?
Unfortunately, my friend, I would be conflicted in doing that. However, I know plenty of lawyers who would be probably more than happy to cause the city some grief and hassle.
What if I gave you $250 like mayor's office did to some of these counselors? Apparently, that's not being, conflicted either, right, Abdul?
Trust me, old friend, I'll take more than $250. So there we go.
All right. So, hey, real quick, we got about a minute left here. You put some polling out about the governor's race and the attorney general's race in Indiana. Where did you get the polling? How did it go, and what'd you see?
This was a poll released by Destiny Wells, who's a Democratic candidate for attorney general. Some people say, well, it's a Democratic poll, you can't trust it. Actually, the people who did the polling actually polled, I want to say, for like either Mike Braun or Mike Pence a while back. So they're pretty good, pretty reputable pollster. And what they found was out of 600 likely voters, the governor's race is basically tied 41-39, Mike Braun, Jennifer McCormick. The attorney general's race is pretty much tied 44-41 apiece within the margin of error. And what was really interesting was they asked about the presidential race, and the presidential race was pretty much Donald Trump ahead from Kamala Harris, but only by 10 points. Normally, a Republican wins by about 20 points here in Indiana. So that was sort of their poll. We're going to be doing our own polling, actually starting go down the field, I want to say like next week and some change. And when we do, we're going to ask those questions, but also see how straight ticket voting can impact all this as well.
Yeah, I want to see what your polling says because, again, consider me the skeptic here. Destiny Wells says Destiny Wells is tied in the race for attorney general. Well, sure, she's not going to say she's getting her ass handed to her. And then with the governor's race, I don't believe that's as close as she's making out to be at all. So I'm looking forward to the polling that you have, Abdul. When should you have that?
We will start. We should start polling next Wednesday, Thursday, and then start releasing our results the week before early voting begins.
That's Abdul Hakim Shabazz, Indy Politics, and Abdul at Large here at WIBC. Abdul, have a great weekend, my friend. We'll talk soon.
Hey, take care, buddy. Take care.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Do you own an annuity? Right now, you could upgrade your annuity and get 40% more income, tax-deferred growth, and pay fewer fees and expenses. It's true. This upgrade could add up to tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars in additional lifetime income. Learn more by calling Bill Demery, your retirement guy in Indy.
If you currently own an annuity, discover how you could get 40% more income, tax-deferred growth, and pay fewer fees and expenses. Bill Demery's the guy that can break it all down for you. This upgrade could add up to tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars in additional lifetime income. And it won't cost you a dime. Talk to Bill Demery today. 317-648-5120. That's 317-648-5120. Bill Demery, your retirement guy.
Hey, Bill, where you been? You're overdue for a haircut.
Man, listen, my water pipes burst and flooded my house. Place a mess. I've been staying with my daughter till I can figure out what to do.
You trying to fix it and move back in?
No way. It's too big a mess. It'll cost me tens of thousands of dollars. I ain't got that kind of money.
You trying to sell it then?
Well, that's what I'd like to do, but who's going to buy my house in this condition?
Did you call Simple Quarters?
Simple Quarters?
Simple Quarters bought our house when we were in a jam. We needed to move real quick. They closed fast and gave us cash.
Simple Quarters will buy in any condition?
That's right. They buy as is. You don't have to repair anything or clean anything out. It's simple.
What do I have to do?
Just call them. They'll do a quick walkthrough, then they'll make you an offer.
Simple Quarters is a local Christian company that loves to help people in difficult situations. Call Simple Quarters at 317-900-HOME. That's 317-900-HOME. Check us out at simplequarters.com.
Hi, this is Zach Ingledow from Ingledow Tree Experts. When it comes to the health and beauty of your trees, trust Ingledow Tree Experts. Our certified arborists ensure your trees are trimmed, removed, and cared for with precision. Fall is the perfect time for tree maintenance. Call now for your free estimate and let us handle the hard work. Give me a call, 317-903-9999. 0102 or visit ingledowtreeexperts.com for more information. Ingledow Tree Experts, where your trees come first.
Are you concerned about rising gasoline taxes? I'm Donald Rainwater, Libertarian candidate for governor. Hoosiers currently pay sales tax and excise tax on gasoline to the state. No one should pay two taxes for gasoline. So my plan is to abolish the gasoline excise tax in Indiana. To learn more about my plan to make Indiana government less taxing, go to rainwaterforindiana.com. My name is Donald Rainwater, and I approve this message, paid for by Rainwater for Indiana.
Do you have an idea for a book, fiction, nonfiction, or a children's book? We can help you put it together and bring it to market at Dorrance Publishing. We have thousands of testimonials from people just like you that we've helped get their books sold in stores and online. We've even got a service called The Writer's Coach. It's perfect for people that have a book idea in their head and they just need someone to help them put it on paper. Dorrance Book Publishing has been helping people just like you who have a book idea, written or not, for over 100 years. Imagine being counted among the most famous authors in the world with your very own book. Call right now and let us help you turn a book idea into reality. It's easier than you think. You just need a little help. Call us now.
800-879-4098. 800-879-4098. 800-879-4098. That's 800-879-4098.
It's JMV. Save 30% off herbaceous perennials, 50% off pottery, and 20% off patio furniture this week at Miss M's Home and Garden on State Road 135 in Bargersville.
To celebrate, Be Employee Owned, Be's offering employee pricing 60% off plus 18 months, no interest, no payment.
Proud to be employee owned. Trust me.
Check out what's going on with 93 WIBC.
Head to the contest page at WIBC.com and enter for your chance to win 2 tickets to see Trans-Siberian Orchestra Thursday, December 19th at Gamebridge Fieldhouse.
More info online at WIBC.com.
All right, Alan Green, sorry for the delay. You go ahead and rock and roll.
Thanks, Hammer. 465 southbound at the exit ramp to Brookville. They're still working to clear an accident. The vehicles are pretty much up on the toes right now. Should be out of there soon. 465 eastbound heavy from Westfield to Allisonville. Eastbound from Sam Jones to White River on the south side is jammed up. 65 southbound slows between 29th and Meridian. This report brought to you by B Window. Now employee owned, B Window is celebrating this month with employee pricing for everyone. Get 60% off plus 18 months no interest or payments. Trust your home to B. Visit bwindow.com for details. I'm Alan Green. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
83 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. So we went a little long from talking about things that are grunting and me trying to find an attorney that wants to work with me so we can go after Hogsett. So we went a little long, so we got to take a little break here. But we got a big 5 o'clock hour. Casey Daniels is going to come in here, put beer in a funnel, and suck it right out.
Nice.
You don't want to miss it. Beer Sample Friday, Celebrity Beer Bong. Are you okay with this? Come on back.
After college, Mike Braun could have gone anywhere. He chose to move back to his hometown of Jasper, Indiana. There, he started a small business, kept his head down, worked hard, and turned his small business into a national company, employing thousands of Hoosiers. He'll use that same determination for us. Lead the charge on lowering the price of gas, groceries, energy. Take on the big healthcare companies to increase healthcare access and lower costs. And Mike will improve education across our state by increasing school choice. Mike will make our streets safer, back the blue, and stop illegal immigration if the federal government won't. Because Braun believes every Hoosier should be safe and secure in their community. As governor, Braun will continue working for Hoosiers. Because when you're Mike, working hard is just what you do. Mike Braun, governor. Paid for by Mike Braun for Indiana.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to goodrx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Hey, what's up? It's Hammer from the Hammer and Nigel show. You guys rocked it at our WIBC debate viewing party at 416 Wabash. That place is so cool. You guys were the stars of the show. And if you're looking for a place to have your next event, whether it's a wedding reception, class reunion, you name it, check out 416 Wabash. As a wedding DJ, I've played a lot of venues, and I got to tell you, 416 Wabash might be the coolest. 416wabash.com. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Brooks and Dunn, the best-selling duo of all time, live.
Something country.
Neon Moon Tour 2025.
Urban neon.
With David Lee Murphy.
A little dust on the bottom of that red dirt road.
April 3rd, Gainbridge Fieldhouse.
Boogie.
On sale now at Ticketmaster. Brooks and Dunn live.
Nobody cares for you like family. Family heating and air.
Hey, this is Malia. We often get asked when is the best time to buy, and the answer is today, not tomorrow. With rising utility costs, rising product costs, and missed opportunity costs, which you could be saving with a high-efficiency system. Give us a call today to schedule your free in-depth estimate, 317-577-8077.
Family Heating and Air is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Will you be there?
This is just such a prestigious place and such hallowed ground.
Reigning Brickyard 400 champ and 2024 Indy 500 Rookie of the Year, Kyle Larson will try to make history, racing and winning the Indy 500 presented by Gainbridge and the NASCAR Coca-Cola 600 in the same day.
I love you, Indiana fans. How about we come back next May and try and kiss these bricks on the IndyCar?
Don't miss your chance to see Kyle Larson take on two-time defending champion Joseph Newgarden and all the stars of IndyCar at the 109th running of the Indianapolis 500.
See you guys all next May.
For ticket info, visit ims.com.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
Coming up in 2 minutes, Ryan Hedrick explains why the Indiana Convention Center is putting a focus on safety measures. An Indianapolis police officer is being investigated, and 2 students have been arrested for making threats against schools. Sasha Nixon has that story and more next from the Technology Recycler Studios. I'm Donnie Burgess. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's now 5 o'clock, Fox News Radio.
It's a sprint to Election Day. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. And Vice President Kamala Harris is pledging to listen, not just talk.
I am feeling very good about Pennsylvania because there are a lot of people in Pennsylvania who deserve to be seen and heard. That's why I'm here in Johnstown.
He's visiting rural parts of the state.
The Harris campaign believes that if they can lessen the margin of victory in rural parts of Pennsylvania, which is the vast majority of the counties here, that can make all the difference in the race come November.
Fox's Brian Yennis in Wilkes-Barre, where Harris is set to hold a rally. The former president will rally in Las Vegas after holding a news conference this afternoon at his golf course in L.A., just a mile from a massive landslide threatening hundreds of homes.
The former president acknowledged the dangerous landslide conditions and let the mayor of Rancho Palos Verdes take the mic for a second to ask for help before he then said,
I think John would like to see the help of the state government and the federal government.
The former president then criticized Vice President Harris, blaming her for what he said were California's current failed policies. As for the debate, he argued against a characterization among some Republicans that he missed the mark.
94% of the Republicans said I did phenomenally in the debate. Some said that I could have been tougher.
While he has said he will not do another debate, he did leave the door open.
Maybe if I got in the right mood, I don't know.
But he insisted that he won the debate.
Fox's Jessica Rosenthal. Hawaii's Attorney General calls a new report a wake-up call for the state and county governments after last year's deadly Maui fire. Investigators say they found no evidence Hawaiian officials prepared for it. A lack of planning, they say, that hindered evacuation efforts despite days of warnings that extreme fire conditions were coming. The report also noting the heads of the County Emergency Management Agency and Maui Fire Department were both off island that day attending conferences. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
What to do after the crime. Good afternoon. It's cloudy and 83. Low 60s tonight. I'm Donnie Burgess. Here's what's trending at 5:02. Improving safety measures is the mission for the staff at the Indiana Convention Center.
That was the message from the executive director, Andy Mallon, who spoke at a committee meeting in front of the City County Council Thursday. Mallon talked about Wednesday's murder that happened on the second floor of the building.
We had armed security there. The best of the best were there. They were on the scene. They were on the same floor.
Mallon said about 6 months ago, the convention center invested in more police, but none of them were around when Brian Fulton killed Al Gosnell. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
An Indianapolis police officer has been placed on administrative duties. The department is investigating allegations made against the officer, as they put it. IMPD is still dealing with the cases of two of their officers charged with child sex crimes. If you're a parent, you may picture a time when going to school only involved a simple car trip.
Well, state police say they arrested 2 kids this week for making threats against schools. I'm Sasha Nixon. Indianapolis officers believe a 12-year-old and a 15-year-old were responsible for the threats. They did not specify which schools had been targeted, but they did note that the incidents were not connected. A third threat was apparently investigated but found to be unsubstantiated. Sasha Nixon, 93, WIBC Mobile News.
Late fees and disconnections will resume for AES Indiana customers beginning November 1st. There's been a pause while the company has dealt with technical issues. If your bills are good, then you should make sure your gas tank is as well. Today's average is $3.13 a gallon, says AAA. That's down 18 cents from last week. WIBC News Time, 5:04. Traffic and weather coming up in 1 minute.
Cindy Carrasco has spent a career holding the powerful accountable. As Indiana's Inspector General and Director of the State Ethics Commission, Cindy fought waste, fraud, and abuse wherever she found it. Cindy also combated wrongdoing in state government, which meant standing up and doing the right thing even if it wasn't popular. Now, as our state senator, Cindy Carrasco continues to fight on behalf of all Hoosiers by improving the quality of our children's education, providing tax relief for everyone, and working to make our communities safe by getting law enforcement the resources they need to fight crime, violence, and keep fentanyl away from our families. It's why Cindy has been endorsed by the Indiana Fraternal Order of Police, State Police Alliance, and the Professional Firefighters of Indiana. Because they know that Cindy has their back, and we know she has ours. Vote for more government transparency, better schools, lower taxes, and safer streets. Vote Cindy Carrasco for State Senate.
Paid for by Cindy for Senate.
With traffic on the 5s at 5:05, here's Alan Green.
Thank you, Donnie. 465 southbound, the off-ramp to Brookville, still trying to get that crash out of the way. 465 eastbound, heavy Westfield to Allisonville. 465 eastbound backs up from Sam Jones to White River on the south side. And 65 southbound is heavy from 29th to about Meridian. This report brought to you by Allstate. Wish you could save on home insurance? With Allstate, you could easily save and get quality protection. Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate. I'm Alan Green. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And now the forecast brought to you by the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
We're cloudy to start things off, but we'll clear up as we move into late Friday night. Rain, not a problem in our forecast, unless you're in the very southern part of the state, in which you might see a raindrop or two. Low temperatures drop into the mid-60s with winds out of the southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Drew Narsutis for 93 WIBC.
The Hammer and Nigel Show up next. I'm Donnie Burgess on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
Man, Hammer, I think it was about 2 months ago today, the anniversary of the attempted assassination of Donald Trump at that rally in Butler, Pennsylvania, or if you read the Indy Star headlines, there were some loud noises.
He was scared of a noise.
But and Donald Trump brought that up during his debate with Kamala Harris, and it's wild to think that it's almost a non-issue. Nobody talks about it. It's been forgotten, I believe. And we don't really have any more answers than we did from the weeks ensuing when it happened. Has anybody been held accountable besides the shooter? How was that security breach even allowed to happen?
So we are told that January 6th is the same thing as 9/11 in Pearl Harbor, but the assassination attempt where a former president, and at the time presidential frontrunner, was actually shot is nothing burger. That's a wild way to think. You want to talk about a threat to democracy, assassinating a presidential frontrunner. I think that's something that falls into the category, but nobody wants to talk about it. But Josh Hawley, the senator from Missouri, he's not giving up on this. He wants answers, and he went on with Jesse Waters last night on his program with a little bit of an update on the things that he has learned about the complete failure from a security standpoint.
What I'm learning now is that the lead advance agent that day in Pennsylvania, this is the agent that was in charge of Trump's entire trip in Pennsylvania, that this agent actually failed one or more of her training exams when she first joined the Secret Service. I mean, the pattern that is emerging here, Jesse, from whistleblowers who've come forward to me now over and over again is that the Trump rally was undermanned, it was understaffed, they did not have people who had experience on it, and now this advance agent, I'm told, may have failed one or more of her training exams and was known not to be a top quality agent. I mean, this is absurd, and the fact that the director will not level with the American people about what's going on here is just totally unacceptable and unbelievable. Yeah, see, this is what's so hard to understand is that if this individual had failed one or more of her training exams, if she was known not to be really one of the Secret Service's top agent, she's in the Pittsburgh office, why was she put in charge of the entire trip? One other thing, I'm told by people who are close to and have knowledge of the Secret Service's own internal investigation that the Department of Homeland Security is leaning on the Secret Service not to comply with document requests to Congress.
I will say that neither Donald Trump, Eric Trump, Trump Jr. had any bad things to say about the Secret Service. Even some of the females that were there that day, they complimented. Like, I think Eric Trump, it was either Eric or Don Jr. that had very good experiences with some of the female, because I know some of those female Secret Services took a lot of flack. I don't know if this is specifically the one Hawley's talking about here, but I have never heard any one of the Trumps question the Secret Service. I think there's probably a reason for that. They can let other people do that and figure that out.
And other people should. One of the iconic images, if you remember, was the female Secret Service agent ducking down behind Donald Trump, like almost using him as a shield to save herself. Now, if you're just a normal person, okay, but you signed up to take a bullet for the president. That's part of the job with the Secret Service.
Also, the guy that was walking around that ended up taking a shot at Donald Trump was seen. He was noticed. People pointed him out. He was taken out pretty damn quickly, but only after he fired shots at Donald Trump, which ended up killing an innocent bystander and wounding a few others. Why wasn't he taken out before? Why didn't anybody climb up on that roof? Why was that roof even allowed to be, outside of the security perimeter? There should never have been a line of sight for anybody to gain access to the podium that day.
Complete failure. I'm sorry. It was a complete
Don't say you're sorry.
failure.
You don't have to say you're sorry.
From
it was.
a Secret Service perspective, and if Josh Hawley is right, Homeland Security telling Secret Service don't cooperate with an investigation, that's some back alley third world country crap right there. All right, I'm going to need your help on something, Nige. Maybe, Allison, you can keep an open ear out, too. So last night, Old Balls Tim Walz, he's up there on the stage. He's talking about Kamala Harris. Listen closely. He's supposed to say prosecutor, but does he call Kamala Harris a young prostituter?
Oh.
Because this started, and I love this story, as a young prostituter. Kamala Harris talked about going in that courtroom for the first time.
Did you catch it?
I caught it.
Here, let me isolate that one part. Does he call Kamala Harris a young prostituter?
As a young prostituter, as a young prostituter, as a young prostituter, as a young prostituter, as a young prostituter.
Old Balls Tim Walz, Old Balls Tim Walz.
Is that the Raju jingle remixed for Tim Walz?
Old Balls Tim Walz, Old Balls. Yeah, I think he probably misspoke, because I think he meant young prosecutor.
Well, I know what he meant,
Yeah, I
but
know.
yes or no, did he call her a young prostituter?
You're going to make me answer this?
Yes. I'm not
It
saying he's
sounded-
wrong either way. Let me make that perfectly clear.
It did sound, okay, of course, it sounded like he said prostituter, but I don't.
Can we go back to
I'm
you
just- yes,
remixing the Raju jingle as Old Balls Tim Walz?
What happened to the official Old Balls Tim Walz music? Can we find that? Because I couldn't, I don't know how that transformed in my head, but I've been singing it to myself in my head for weeks.
Now, Raju was a
Raju-
candidate for an office here in Indiana and did not win, but he had a great jingle. But we put this open together for Tim Walz.
Joe Biden's got old balls. Chuck Schumer has old balls. Mitch McConnell has old balls. Bernie Sanders has old balls. Dirty, saggy balls. Pelosi has old balls. But Tim Walz has the oldest balls of them all.
The official Old Balls Tim Walz music.
Somehow it morphed into a remix of the Raju. Old Balls Tim Walz. Oh. I have it on my security camera as I was walking out the door singing it, like just randomly to myself. Nobody was around. The audio is not very good, or else I would have played it, but I went back and watched it, and I'm like, what's my problem? What am I doing with my life that I have this running around in my head?
What am I doing with my life that I made a dance club remix out of that song? It's the Sandstorm remix.
I don't talk bullshit. I don't talk bullshit. I don't talk bullshit.
I missed this.
I don't talk bullshit. I don't talk bullshit.
What is the BS part?
What he went on with Tony. I don't talk.
Oh.
Here we go. Get your glow sticks ready. Breakdown.
Oh, yeah. I don't talk bullshit.
Uh-oh. It's like we're at Tiki Bombs again, Nige. Lights are off. Kevin, get your glow sticks.
Old Balls Tim Walz.
Nigel's got his shirt off.
Wouldn't be the first time this week.
The Sandstorm remix of the Raju jingle. And now that you've got Old Balls Tim Walz in that same type of song, I think it's going to be stuck in my head too.
Sorry.
Man, ridiculous. All right. Man, I wanted to talk about so much more, but we got off on a little side session there about
whatever.
Raju and prostitutes and Old Balls Tim Walz.
We've got hours to go before the show ends. Plenty of time.
There hasn't been a segment that good on dance club remixes and somebody getting called a prostitute since Mike Pence used to sit in this very chair. All right, Matt Bear's on a vacation far, far away, which means Alan Green's filling in.
465 southbound, the off-ramp to Brookville finally is reopened, all cleared out. It was open, but traffic was squeezing by. 465 eastbound jams up Westfield to Allisonville. Eastbound 465 on the south side slows from Sam Jones around to White River. 65 southbound is tight between 29th and Meridian. This report brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Get renter's insurance to protect the things that make your place a home, including coverage for theft or damage. Visit Progressive.com. That's Progressive.com. I'm Alan Green. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Raju, Raju, shades of red, white, and blue. Guarding dreams for all, he believes in you.
Raju Chinthala is a healthcare.
This was the original ad.
That's it.
Now start it from the very beginning. Nige, it's time for Sing Along with Nige
Okay.
this time, okay? Let's go.
Old balls, Tim Walls, old balls, Tim Walls.
Guarding dreams for
Old balls, Tim Walls.
83 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. Are you okay with this? Next.
Whether it's the good food or the friendly mood, you can count on Indiana to never lose when it comes to tailgating. And we want to see you at every game. That's why Hubler's got you covered with the best warranty around. So kick off the season in a Hubler quality pre-owned vehicle. Choose from over 2,000 Chevys, Fords, GMCs, Buicks, Nissans, Acuras, Mazdas, Hondas, and many more. All makes and models. Certified. Luxury. Even the hard-to-find ones. Every Hubler Q-certified vehicle is covered by a 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty and includes a 128-point vehicle inspection, plus a free Carfax history report. Keep the tradition alive, knowing Hubler's got you covered for 100,000 miles.
Hubler's got you covered.
Visit drivehubler.com or any of our 12 locations.
Cover me.
Warranty on select models less than 9 years old.
Do you own an annuity? Right now, you could upgrade your annuity and get 40% more income, tax-deferred growth, and pay fewer fees and expenses. It's true. This upgrade could add up to tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars in additional lifetime income. Learn more by calling Bill Demery, your retirement guy in Indy.
If you currently own an annuity, discover how you could get 40% more income, tax-deferred growth, and pay fewer fees and expenses. Bill Demery's the guy that can break it all down for you. This upgrade could add up to tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars in additional lifetime income. And it won't cost you a dime. Talk to Bill Demery today. 317-648-5120. That's 317-648-5120. Bill Demery, your retirement guy.
Don't miss the holiday concert experience of the season. Trans-Siberian Orchestra, The Lost Christmas Eve. December 19th, Gainbridge Fieldhouse. Reserve seats on sale now at Ticketmaster. An awe-inspiring blend of rock, classical, and holiday music for the entire family. Don't miss Trans-Siberian Orchestra, live in concert.
I'm confused. After 40 years, people still tell me that they have seen another spa that's as good as a Royal Spa. I've given tours to engineering groups who see our operation and ask, how can anyone buy from others when Royal Spa products are so much better? The answer is that lots of people don't take the time to understand the unbelievable differences. Come into any of our locations and make the salesperson prove the superiority of the Royal Spa product.
Royal Spa. Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Inside Indiana Business Radio, the news you need to get ahead. Indiana's business news leader, weekdays at 6:32 a.m. and 5:56 p.m. on WIBC.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by Miss M's Home and Garden, Johnson County's fall nursery headquarters.
Are you really okay with this? Are you okay?
Everything's gonna be okay.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
I'm pretty far from okay.
Are you okay with this? On the Hammer and Nigel show.
Oh, yeah!
Yeah, this really resonates with me, Hammer, because our kids still love a good arcade claw machine whenever they're available. So there's an arcade claw machine hack all over social media that's supposed to up your chances of winning a toy. It hinges on the fact that those machines can be set so the claw grips things hard or not so hard. Here's the video claiming there's a cheat code. So I think they're using an AI voice here, but we're going to put up with it if that helps you win a cool prize or plushie or squishy or whatever.
Why is it that every time you try to grab a toy from the claw machine, you always miss it by just a little bit? It's because claw machines are set with sensitivity levels from 1 to 5, with 5 being the tightest grip and 1 being the loosest. Each time you start the machine, it randomly selects a level, but the chances of getting level 5 are the lowest. If you press left, right, down, and then press the grab button twice before starting, you'll hear a prompt sound. This means the machine has switched to level 5 sensitivity. If you try to grab it again at this time, you will come back to thank me.
Oh, somebody's got to try that. Are you
Right.
okay with this?
So I'm okay with others learning the cheat code here, right? Personally, I don't need it because I'm a boss at the claw game. I could be on the Olympic team for claw game. I'm a total ringer at this kind of stuff.
Okay.
You find me a claw game, I'm going to show you a big, hairy American winning machine. But it sounds like if you're playing a game on a video game, whether it's like a wrestling game or whatever, there's a code sometimes you can use for the finishing move. Left, right, up, down, power, whatever it may be. So yeah, look that up. See if that works next time you are going to play the claw game, and send us a message and let it know. Now, I don't need to send a message because I dominate this. This and air hockey. Again, these are my worthless skills. I am so good at both of these things. Nobody wants to smoke.
A family in Illinois put 80 candles, physically, 80 candles on a cake for their grandma's birthday. Now, you watch this thing. They bring it out to her. It's already an inferno when they put it in front of her. And she couldn't blow out 80 candles, this 80-year-old woman, and it became a fire hazard. Luckily, they smashed them down with a plate to put the fire out.
I don't even know if this is safe.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Susie. Happy birthday to you. Blow! Help her out, somebody.
Y'all, it's not going to happen.
Everybody blow. Everybody, there you go.
I think these are relighting candles.
No, they aren't.
Yes, they are.
Oh my God, you just ruined your cake.
No, just pat it with that.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's...
Here, I'll retweet this. Are you okay with them bringing out a cake with actual, I mean, I'm looking at it right now. 80 candles, Hammer, for the 80-year-old woman's birthday. Are you okay with that?
No,
She
for a
can't-
number of reasons.
Doesn't
here.
even come close to blowing.
And those are actual candles. They're not the trick candles like we put on our son's birthday cake this year.
No.
These are the real McCoys, but there's 80 of them. And she's an old-ass woman. So first of all, she's wasting precious oxygen inside her body. She might not have that much in the tank, man. Let's not blow it. And number two, let's be honest. You know those blows on the candles aren't clean and dry. So how much saliva, how much old lady spit, how much grandma kiss is she getting all over that cake? And then you had other people coming in to try to put the towering inferno out. So now it just becomes a big petri dish. Yeah, who wants a big piece of that?
I just reposted that on X at Hammer and Nigel. Again, they brought it in. It was, as I said, an inferno.
Jeez, I'm watching it now.
I mean,
it looks like
listen,
a dumpster fire.
If she's 80 years old, maybe just put 8 candles representing every decade.
They make candles that have an 8 and a 0. Just put those on there.
Right, they're numbered.
8-0. This really looks like somebody set a trash can on fire, and this old broad's trying to blow them out, and everybody's standing around like it's cute. Now you've got a cake filled with grandma spit. People are trying to put it out. The cake is ruined. Man, what a disaster.
This is actually kind of funny. Republicans in Arizona have put up a dozen billboards pushing the idea that Haitian immigrants are eating cats. They're Chick-fil-A style ads that read, "Eat less kittens, vote Republican."
Oh, good Lord. Wow.
And this is in Arizona, not Springfield, where all that kind of controversy was going on. But anyway, here are people in the community talking about the billboards.
More silliness, more craziness.
I think they're a distraction from real problems, and it's just a bunch of nonsense.
Everyone has their own mind to decide, hey, is this good or bad, or if it's true or whatever.
So anyway, I mean, Donald Trump's mentioned it a bunch of times. He even talked about it in his debate, how there were some protected Haitian immigrants that were going in and eating people's cats. And
they're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats.
Like I heard that, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know if the streets of Springfield are lined with cat carcasses or not.
Are you willing to rule it out, though? And that's the thing. Because we've got so many people saying it's been debunked. That's not happening. But, man, there are audio clips, body cam of officers. I know Jerry played some yesterday on his show, filling in for Tony Kennett, that are saying, yes, we've played the audio on this show of people at the town council meetings. It wasn't cats and dogs, but it was ducks and roadkill and everything in between.
Well, there's a 911 call of a guy, I believe, in Springfield saying that he saw several Haitians grabbing geese and walking away with them.
I see a group of Haitian people. There was about 4 of them. They all had geese in their hand. They got away. I couldn't make out the first 3 in the license plate, but I got the numbers. There was about 4 of them. There was 2 men, 2 women, and I saw that. I'm like, yeah, this has got to be reported.
So how many geese did they have?
They each had 1.
So,
and that doesn't offer definitive proof. Maybe the Haitians had a pond out back of their residence. They just wanted to make the pond more pretty with some animals.
Yeah, the Haitians are all about making things pretty. You're right, Nigel. You're absolutely right.
They wanted to.
So
decorative.
I just wish all these people who are so quick to say it's been debunked were that passionate about Kamala Harris talking about Charlottesville, Kamala Harris bringing up Project 2025 and tying it to Donald Trump, Kamala Harris talking about the bloodbath. They don't want to talk about that, but there's an outside chance that a bunch of people who act like animals are going into this community in Ohio behaving as such. That's been debunked. Has it really? Because I'm old enough to remember when they told us a lot of stuff had been debunked about COVID, and they were wrong about that too. So be very leery when these people tell you it's been debunked. Now, with that being said, somebody made this awesome dance club remix of what Donald Trump was talking about in the debate.
Oh, no.
They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. They're eating the cats. They're eating the dogs. Eat the cat. Eat the cat.
Where do you get this stuff? That's amazing.
Hey, we need 11 more people to like the YouTube feed so we can get to 100. We need 11 more likes. Get on the WIBC YouTube feed.
Please.
We just need 11 of you. Come on, it's Beer Sample Friday. Help your boys out. All right, coming up next, Rebecca Mansour of Breitbart. She's got this awesome article out about where Kamala Harris really stands on all the issues. And it's not just her opinion. It's using Kamala's words.
It's bipartisan. It's clips, it's statements, and every policy. It's funny because we always talked about we don't know where Kamala stands on this. Where's her policies on this? She's already stated all her policies in previous years, and now we have a list of all them in one place.
We'll have that conversation right after the news with Donnie Burgess.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
putting the cuffs on the kids. You've got 83 degrees. I'm Donnie Burgess. Here's what's trending at 5:30. 2 kids have been arrested and charged with making threats against schools. They're not the only ones, reports Sasha Nixon.
State police believe a 12 and 15-year-old were responsible for the threats, and both were arrested following an investigation. They did note that the incidents were not connected. Unfortunately, these types of situations are not isolated. Another 12-year-old was arrested and charged with felony intimidation this week in Jeffersonville, and a teenager in Richmond was arrested for posting a threat on Snapchat, according to reports Thursday. Learn more at WIBC.com. Sasha Nixon, 93, WIBC Mobile News.
The U.S. and NATO allies have considered allowing Ukraine to use long-range missiles to hit Russia. That would lead to war with NATO, says Russian President Vladimir Putin.
That kind of rhetoric certainly is dangerous, but it's not new. It's not new for Russia. Matter of fact, it has been the mainstay of Russian propaganda throughout this war that they've had. This is their war.
White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre. Donald Trump says he'll do another debate with Kamala Harris if he gets in the right mood. During a press event in the Los Angeles area Friday, Trump claimed the last debate on ABC News was slanted against him. You're paying an average of $3.13 a gallon for gas today, says AAA. That's down 18 cents from last Friday. You may remember 2 NASA astronauts are still stuck at the International Space Station, but they say they're doing fine and keeping busy.
NASA's Sonny Williams and Butch Wilmore say they're plenty happy to stay months longer than planned at the International Space Station, and they still consider Boeing's Starliner to be a safe and usable spacecraft. The two spoke with reporters on a teleconference from space.
We could have gotten to the point, I believe, where we could have returned on Starliner, but we just simply ran out of time because there's other tests that need to be done and other assessments that need to be done.
Eben Brown, Fox News.
And with a look at traffic, here's Alan Green.
Thank you. 465 eastbound, a slowdown from Westfield to Allisonville. 465 eastbound, tight from Sam Jones to White River on the south side. And 465 northbound 86 to the Dogleg is backed up. On 65 southbound, right after King, there's a crash as the left lane blocked. This report brought to you by B-Window. Now employee-owned, B-Window is celebrating this month with employee pricing for everyone. Get 60% off plus 18 months, no interest or payments. Trust your home to B. Visit bwindow.com for details. I'm Alan Green. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And now the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
While we do have a few clouds early this Friday evening, they will clear out overnight. Low temperatures drop into the mid-60s and will be mostly sunny and around the 90-degree mark as you make your way towards Saturday afternoon. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Drew Narsutis for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Donnie Burgess on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
It's not like you to say sorry.
The Hammer Nigel Show. I'm Nigel. That's Jason Hammer. We'll go straight to the hotline and bring on Breitbart Senior Editor-at-Large, Rebecca Manser, who wrote this incredible piece at Breitbart.com. Everything you need to know about Kamala in her own words in one place, because I feel like Rebecca, first of all, great job. It's a huge article, and that's not to say it's not compelling. I mean, it is a page turner, but it is basically everything we wanted to know about Kamala Harris, and that Kamala Harris doesn't want us to know about her. So maybe big picture, tell us about the article, and then maybe we'll drill down on some of the things and some of her policies that people should know about.
Yeah, basically, look, she's been dodging interviews, obviously. She has been, her handlers have her very controlled, and now she's out there trying to reintroduce herself to the public and essentially reinvent herself. And so what we decided to do was just collect as much as we could about her past policy positions in her own words and simply include all the videos of her saying these things so that people could get a sense of, here's what she said. So this was meant to be completely objective and just literally let Kamala speak for herself. And, I mean, she could have had the byline on this. It was a lot of work on my part and also on my colleague, Alana Mastrangello, who did, yeoman's work having to, transcribe this stuff, find these clips. And, we organized all of them. So, yeah, it was a big haul in terms of just, creating a database of all these things. But all we did was just quote Kamala herself. This is what she said in the past. And I think that you get a picture of who she is when you see all of these interview clips and all these statements, because you see that she is basically a creature of expedience. Yeah. She will say whatever she needs to say, was my takeaway, in order to win. I don't think that she has really all that many convictions other than political expediency and self-interest. That was kind of my takeaway.
And Rebecca, I'm glad you put this article out, because you mentioned earlier in the conversation, she's trying to reintroduce herself to so many people. And the thing is, there's been no pushback from the mainstream media. About 85-90% of the media just allows her to go out there and flip-flop without any pushback. So that's why I think an article like this is fantastic.
Yeah, there was no fact checks of her at Tuesday's debate. Like, Trump was getting, piled on by the moderators. He was basically debating three people. The moderators would, kept fact-checking him and blocking him and all of this, and fact-checking him often totally incorrectly, right? She got no fact checks. She was just able to say things like, I've always been in favor of fracking. No, you weren't. She's literally has said multiple times. I didn't even include as many times as I could. There were more videos I could have included where she says flat out, I absolutely support a ban on fracking. No more fracking. I will do that day one. I will sign a bill. No more fracking. But she's able to say, I've always been in favor of that. She's able to make these claims like, my biggest love is small businesses. What? At the same time, we have her here talking about how she's going to repeal Trump's tax cut, which really helps small businesses, okay? So she will say whatever, and they're allowing her to reinvent herself, even though she said diametrically different things in the past.
And so Yeah, the format of this article, Rebecca, everything you need to know about Kamala in her own words in one place, is not only written word statements that she's made, but the clips, too. I mean, the clips are powerful. The video of her saying, yes, I would absolutely ban fracking, and you fast forward to a couple of weeks ago, no, I'm not in favor of banning fracking. That's just one example. And then you go on to list other policies. You have a long list of policies. So I'm just going to pick a few that I'm interested in, and you could tell me where she was on this policy, now where she is now, such as the border and immigration. It seems like there's been some walkbacks previously to what she has said and what she is saying now.
Oh, wow. Yeah, now suddenly she's like tough on the border. She's going to crack down on this. She understands the pain of this. Before, she had called Donald Trump's border wall a vanity project. She dismissed it as this is nothing. We have to stop this. And not only that, but she said flat out that she wants to decriminalize illegal border crossing, and that we have to stop calling these people criminals. Not only that, she even said that these are the least likely people to commit crimes. Which is one of her statements here. She's like, oh, no, they don't commit crimes. They're the least likely to commit crimes. And by the way, 3 days after Laken Riley was murdered by an illegal immigrant, she's here saying we have a secure border. I mean, and literally, she's saying in one place, I'll tell you, having done the work I've done, it's undocumented immigrants that are the least likely to commit a crime. Oh, really? So again, she said this multiple times. I only included a handful of the comments. There were more that I could have included. I just wanted, because I felt it would be too repetitious, and to people if I kept including all of the times that she said, basically, I will not make it a crime if you cross our border. We need to decriminalize this, okay? So suddenly now we have this massive, border problem, and now she's going to be hard on the border. She's going to be tough on this. I mean, give me a break. So, yeah, who is she fooling? She said this over and over and over again and demeaned, mocked, and belittled Donald Trump for trying to secure our border.
We talked a little bit earlier on our program about the gun control flip-flop, but I want to bring up abortion here because that was a big moment in the debate this past Tuesday. There was a little back and forth about where Kamala stands on late-term abortion. Donald Trump gets fact-checked. Kamala rolls her eyes. Where is she really at?
She doesn't believe in any limits on it at all, because every time she's asked about that, asked, at what week of pregnancy should abortion access be cut off, should be stopped, all she says is, and I'm quoting her here, she says, well, let me be very clear. From day one, the president has been clear, and I have been clear, we need to put back the protections that are in Roe v. Wade into law. Now, what that means, Roe v. Wade did not have any limits, really, in its interpretation, especially, following Roe v. Wade, the, Griswold, I guess, which basically affirmed Roe. There were no limits. Okay, it was, abortion, access right up to the moment of birth, essentially. So when she's saying, we want to put all the protections back that were in Roe into law, she's basically saying without limits, which is what we had before.
Really fascinating piece by piece, epic list of everything you need to know about Kamala Harris in her own words in one place. Is there anything, before we let you go, I mean, healthcare, censorship, gun control, reparations, is there anything on this list that you put together, like a number one thing that you think Kamala Harris would love to have back? I wish I had not have said this. I still believe it. But since I want to win the election, I wish the American people did not know this about me, and I would like to take it back. Is there any one or two things that stick out in your mind?
You know what? Here's what I think that people need to know about Kamala Harris. The media, she doesn't have to regret anything because the media is not going to call her out on anything.
Absolutely.
So it's all memory hold.
Yep.
The other thing I think people need to understand about her that is not clear to, I think, people that aren't in California, perhaps, she is the quintessential San Francisco Democrat. And you have to understand what that means. Everything she does is an exercise in Machiavellian guile, whereby she pretends to be a champion of the downtrodden when her true motivations are always political expediency and self-interest. And you understand San Francisco Democrats, the whole thing is about phoniness. That's why she was always accused of being phony. It is all phoniness, okay? If you understand, San Francisco is the epitome of the phoniness of like these godless neoliberal elites who cloak themselves in the mantle of social justice, when in reality, everything they do is designed to protect their own privileges, okay?
Hey, yep. Rebecca, we got to call it right there. I mean, we didn't even put a dent in this article. I encourage everybody to go to Breitbart.com and read Rebecca Mansour and her article, everything you need to know about Kamala Harris in her own words in one place. Rebecca's a Breitbart News senior editor at large. We always love having you on, Rebecca. Welcome back anytime and have a good weekend.
Thanks so much, guys. Bye-bye.
All right, Nige. Casey Daniels has arrived.
He is waiting in the wings.
Beer Sample Friday and Celebrity Beer Bong next.
Hey, Mark Dietel is the only real estate expert I trust and recommend with the sale of my home. And, hey, why not? As long as you're selling my current home, can you find me a new one to move into as well? How about Ray in Indianapolis? Ray needed to move in a hurry. So he was out the door into a new house, but left with the big problem of selling his old house with 2 mortgage payments fast approaching. Heard about Mark Dietel on our show, and he was the answer. He was ecstatic when Mark sold his home for the price they needed in just 2 days on the market.
Mark Dietel is the best, and what separates him from the competition is the guarantee. Mark Dietel guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. That is the Mark Dietel guarantee. You pick your move date, no long-term contracts, and you can cancel at any time. Call Mark Dietel today, 755-4232. That's 317-755-4232, or go to markdietel.com. Mark, D-I-E-T-E-L, markdietel.com. Tell him Hammer and Nigel sent you.
After college, Mike Braun could have gone anywhere. He chose to move back to his hometown of Jasper, Indiana. There, he started a small business, kept his head down, worked hard, and turned his small business into a national company, employing thousands of Hoosiers. He'll use that same determination for us. Lead the charge on lowering the price of gas, groceries, energy. Take on the big healthcare companies to increase healthcare access and lower costs. And Mike will improve education across our state by increasing school choice. Mike will make our streets safer, back the blue, and stop illegal immigration if the federal government won't. Because Braun believes every Hoosier should be safe and secure in their community. As governor, Braun will continue working for Hoosiers. Because when you're Mike, working hard is just what you do. Mike Braun, governor. Paid for by Mike Braun for Indiana.
Denny Smith for Sundown Gardens. This Saturday is the annual Sundown Gardens Fall Open House. Special open house sales, giveaways, local craft vendors from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., and the Hamilton County Llamas from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. And these great specials are in place all week. 30% off herbaceous perennials and 50% off pottery. The greenhouse and nursery are full of fall plants. Celebrate fall at Sundown Gardens at 186th Street and Spring Mill Road in Westfield. SundownGardens.com.
Hey, this is Spencer Thompson at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus. Now through Monday, it's our Made in the USA Labor Day sale. Lazy Boy recliners start at $3.99. Queen mattresses start at $3.99. And sofas start at $4.99. Interest-free financing available, free delivery, and cash discounts on select items. Plus, low price guarantee on Tempur-Pedic and Stearns & Foster mattresses. Sale ends Monday only at Thompson Furniture Mattress in Columbus.
Hey, what's up? It's Hammer from the Hammer and Nigel show. You guys rocked it at our WIBC debate viewing party at 416 Wabash. That place is so cool. You guys were the stars of the show. And if you're looking for a place to have your next event, whether it's a wedding reception, class reunion, you name it, check out 416 Wabash. As a wedding DJ, I've played a lot of venues, and I got to tell you, 416 Wabash might be the coolest. 416wabash.com. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Contact Zero Res now for 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at $119 and take $75 off air duct cleaning. Book online at ZeroResIndy.com for huge savings.
Wish you could save on home insurance? With Allstate, you could easily save and get quality protection. Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
The Sundown Gardens Fall Open House is Saturday. Local craft vendors 11 to 3, Hamilton County Llamas 11 to 1, 186th Street and Spring Mill Road in Westfield.
Never miss your favorite shows on WIBC. Get your content to go. Would you like fries with that? Tony Katz, Kendall and Casey, Hammer and Nigel, Tony Kennett, The Gun Guy, Home and Garden. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
Get to the WIBC YouTube channel right now.
Here we go.
We are moments away from the lovely and talented Casey Daniels taking on the celebrity beer bong. That's coming up right after Alan Green checks the roads.
Thank you. 465 eastbound is solid. Sam Jones to White River. It looks like there's a crash mixed in there before Man. 65 southbound after King, an accident blocking the left lane. This report brought to you by B Window, now employee-owned. B Window celebrating this month with employee pricing for everyone. Get 60% off plus 18 months, no interest or payments. Trust your home to B. Visit bwindow.com for details. I'm Alan Green. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates, WIBC Traffic.
All right, 2 things here. We're going to have to get that fixed, or we're going to have to get Alan Green on the phone because that sounded like popcorn being made. And number 2, it's Beer Sample Friday!
Right now.
Hammer and Nigel present Beer Sample
Fry.
I got some beers. Let's drink them, huh?
Beers on sale, people. Come down and get you some.
Brought to you by our friends at Thompson Furniture and Mattress down in Columbus. Free delivery. Casey Daniels from the Kendall and Casey show has a very stern, earnest, serious look on her face right now before the celebrity beer bong Hammer.
Is it focus or is it fear, Casey?
I think it's a little of both. I'm focusing so that I get rid of that trepidation. I am a little nervous to do this.
Why? Why are you nervous?
You know why? I'll tell you why, Nigel. Thanks for asking. Hammer comes into the Kendall and Casey show every day, and we love him for it.
Yes.
It's so fantastic, and I don't want to let him down. I feel like I've got to do a good job.
You're the only person
Hammer
that likes
and
me in
Nigel
the
show.
studio right now. You're aware of that, right?
Screw
You're
him.
the only
Like-
one that likes me in this studio right
Yeah,
now.
well, I want to do a good job for him and represent.
What is the history with you and bonging of beers?
I think I've done one in my younger
Yeah.
days, but it has been many years.
Now,
so
your
I'm not
husband,
an
who was on
expert.
the air with you earlier today and did a phenomenal job.
The dude.
I think he was a little upset. Because I remember him saying, "You've been to so many Notre Dame tailgates. You got this."
Yeah.
It was a little bit of a pep talk, but it was a little bit of, "Hey, put your big girl pants on.
I
Let's go."
know it was. But what he didn't point out is many times for those Notre Dame games we were working. And here's something that I just realized.
Yeah,
with
we're
him and
working
I.
right now.
Yeah, I know. Working in air quotes. So this is the first time since 1995 that the dude and I haven't either lived in South Bend or sent a check to Purdue University.
Oh.
So for tomorrow's Notre Dame Purdue game, we've got like no regional or financial tie
Okay.
to the game.
All right.
All right, enough
Well, good
small
for you.
talk.
Yeah.
As Long Duck Dong once said, no more Yankee my wanky. Nigel, get that celebrity beer opened.
Oh boy, Coors Light, huh? Silver
Warm Coors
Bullet.
Light,
Right.
room temperature.
Nice.
Now, I think we've went over how this is going to go,
Yeah.
okay? So
We've
if
reviewed
you
it. Let's see
get
if
on
I
the
listen.
YouTube here.
So what you're saying is I have to put this in my mouth, open my throat, and swallow.
Yeah,
Boy,
take-
if I
take
had a
go.
dollar, right? Come on.
Do I have to make eye contact?
All right, here. I'm filling it up right here, okay? So
Put your thumb in
going
there.
very
right now.
slow.
Okay.
And remember, when I finally do lift it up, take a couple breaths and on
You
the
sound like you're
out
going into labor.
on the out, don't swallow. Just open your mouth and don't.
Allison,
like,
stop laughing. You
Don't
got a lot of growing
suck.
up to do
It's
over
a
there.
lot of beer.
Seriously.
It's
So encouraging. I love it.
Oh, this
So-
is going to be a
I
disaster.
don't-
Oh no, here
Okay.
it comes.
Nope.
So
Okay.
on a count of three, okay, I'm going to count
Here
you
we
down
go.
3, 2, 1. When I count you down, Nigel will raise it up and you do your thing.
Okay.
All right, here we go. On the YouTube camera, here we go.
Open
Yeah.
your mouth.
3, 2, 1. Let's go. Get it, Casey. Get it, Casey. Go, 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 go. Get it. Go, go. You got it. It's almost there. You got it.
Yeah!
Chug.
Yeah! That was awesome!
Atta
Casey,
girl.
you killed it! You killed it!
8.6 seconds.
8.6 seconds.
Two
Is that
claps
all
and a
of
Ric
them?
Flair.
Yeah! You guys, you and the dude have fun tonight in your night out, okay? Congratulations.
The
Impressive.
weekend is underway.
Love it.
This is the Harry and Nigel Show. Casey, awesome.
Thanks, guys.
When you have a stuffy nose, life can be a bit unpleasant. Some live every day with a stuffy nose, and that can make life downright miserable. I'm Dr. Mothan Kandula with Advent, where we are committed to eliminating your nasal breathing problems with simple in-office procedures like balloon sinuplasty, which requires no surgical cuts, little to no downtime, and can have you breathing better in less than 30 minutes. At Advent, we understand your inability to breathe freely limits your quality of life. And that's why we continue to pioneer the most advanced in-office procedures that have made our practice a global destination for those seeking to live their highest quality of life. Visit AdventKnows.com to see if you're a candidate for the balloon sinuplasty procedure. Because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
Breathe well with simple solutions. Breathe well with simple solutions. AdventKnows.com.
Results may vary.
Cindy Carrasco has spent a career holding the powerful accountable. As Indiana's Inspector General and Director of the State Ethics Commission, Cindy fought waste, fraud, and abuse wherever she found it. Cindy also combated wrongdoing in state government, which meant standing up and doing the right thing even if it wasn't popular. Now, as our state senator, Cindy Carrasco continues to fight on behalf of all Hoosiers by improving the quality of our children's education, providing tax relief for everyone, and working to make our communities safe by getting law enforcement the resources they need to fight crime, violence, and keep fentanyl away from our families. It's why Cindy has been endorsed by the Indiana Fraternal Order of Police, State Police Alliance, and the Professional Firefighters of Indiana. Because they know that Cindy has their back, and we know she has ours. Vote for more government transparency, better schools, lower taxes, and safer streets. Vote Cindy Carrasco for State Senate.
Paid for by Cindy for Senate.
Seems like there's more identity theft in the news every day.
Another major healthcare breach was reported today, resulting in the exposure.
Now, 1 in 4 consumers have been a victim of identity.
That's because there are endless places that could accidentally expose you to identity theft, in a breach, or simply by mistake. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at lifelock.com. Terms apply.
Will you be there?
This is just such a prestigious place and such hallowed ground.
Reigning Brickyard 400 champ in 2024.